Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is a story about what if Naruto falls in love with Hinata and Temari. Before I start, please support for more amazing content and do consider subscribing to my channel and share this video with your friends. This is written by Chandu-itachi and link in description and support writer. Let's start the video. Prologue. Darkness started to creep its way towards it, the celestial being even with all its power could not stop the darkness. My power it's fading, my strength is weakening, why can't I help him? He needs my power, the tailed beast lashed out in its cage, swinging its massive tail, trashing its tail wildly. As this was going on, a light glow started come just outside its cage and a figure appeared, erasing the darkness of the surrounding environment slowly. In the outside world. Please, just one more time, for one last time, let those words become true, a blonde woman cried, placing the necklace of her grandfather on his neck. She held the hands of the boy who reminded her of her little brother and her lover. She couldn't save him, even after being the best medic nin in the entire elemental nation. She felt helpless, just as she felt when her love had died in front of her. She cried at the irony of the situation, she cried for being helpless. As she was crying, a lone teardrop fell on the necklace which the boy had won from the women. The necklace started to glow green and enveloped the boy. After few seconds of glow died down and the boy had started to breathe again. She was shocked, but she was happy and relieved to see the boy breathing. She came near the boy and checked him once again. She was astonished to see the boy being physically fine. As she was checking she saw her rogue teammate coming towards the boy with his sword. She just moved by her instincts and protected the boy from the rogue Sannin by getting the sword shoved through her chest. Inside the mindscape. He lay there floating on the water. He woke up groggily and saw the place he was in. He didn't know where he was, the place looked like a large sewer with ankle-deep water. The last thing he remembered was shoving his completed Rasengan into the stomach of Kabuto and getting hit on his chest by his hand. He made his way towards a large hall where he could see a faint figure sitting cross-legged as if it was meditating, and behind the figure he saw large bars. He made his way to the person sitting so he could know where he was. As he went further, he could see that the person sitting there was a male. The said male had spiky blonde hair, his face was a bit angular, he couldn't tell his eye color as it was closed. He recognized the person sitting there, how could he not? The man sitting there was his idol, the person he wanted to surpass and become the greatest Hokage. Sitting there was the Yondaime Hokage. No, Yondaime-sama, why are you here? Or am I also dead? Asked Naruto. Yondaime opened his eyes and smiled at the boy. No Naruto, you are not dead. As to where you are right now, we are inside your mind. How do you know my name? Naruto asked, a bit surprised. Now why would I not know my own son's name? Said the Yondaime. Son? He didn't understand, he was surprised, shocked, but of all the things he felt was anger. It had been 3 days and Tsunade was starting to get worried. The boy was still asleep and showed no signs of waking up. The fight between the 3 Sannin was over and the landscape had changed dominantly. Orochimaru had fled from the battle. Tsunade, after recovering from her chakra exhaustion, was by the side of the boy, checking him constantly. Naruto stirred from his sleep and opened his eyes slowly. He saw the room he was in and guessed he was in a hotel. The door opened to reveal Tsunade coming inside the room. Ah, it's good to see you are awake, you had me worried there for a while, Tsunade said to Naruto, giving him a smile. Ah, what happened to me and where am I? Naruto asked, stretching his body and yawning. You are in our hotel room. You lost consciousness after defeating Kabuto, so we brought you here after we finished our battle. You have been asleep for nearly 3 days. Naruto was surprised to hear that, he usually healed up very quickly and then he remembered about Orochimaru. So did you guys kill the snake bastard? Asked Naruto. No Gaki, he gave us the slip once again, he is one slippery bastard, replied Tsunade. Naruto just nodded his head and tried to get out of his bed. As he got off he saw the green gemstone hanging on his neck. Congrats Gaki on winning that bet from me, and like I said I will return to the village and take up the position of the Hokage, Tsunade said to him. Thanks, Bachan. It means a lot to me, Naruto exclaimed loudly. A twitch developed on her left eye hearing him call her an old woman, but she let it slide for now. Oh, and before I forget, I want to ask you something, she said to him a bit nervously. Naruto saw that she was nervous. Whatever she was going to ask him was important to her. He just nodded his head for her to ask him. Gaki, I know this is sudden, but I would like to adopt you into my family, she said a bit nervously, hoping that he would accept her proposal. Hearing this, Naruto was shocked why anyone would want to adopt him, everyone thought he was a monster. Why? He asked, confused. Hearing this, Tsunade turned her head towards the boy and saw various emotions on his face from confusion to happiness. It might be hard for you to believe, but you remind me of my little brother and you have a very uncanny resemblance to him, and to be honest, you and I related to each other through our clan. Before he could speak up, she raised her hand and told him to let her finish. Before you ask, yes I do know who your parents are, but it's not my place to tell you, she finished and waited for his answer. Bachan, I need some time to think about this, a lot has happened and I would like some rest, but could you please bring some food for me, he asked sheepishly at the last, rubbing the back of his neck. Sure Gaki, I'll bring some food, and by the way, since you are awake we will be leaving early in the morning, so don't sleep too much. As Tsunade left, he once again fell on his bed thinking about all the things his father had said and about the adoption thing. He was confused and he didn't like it, he was Uzumaki Naruto, he was used to doing things on the fly. He waited for his food and thought he would decide all the decisions later. 1 week ago. Konoha, village hidden in the leaves. Inside the council chamber. The 2 advisors of Konoha came inside the council chamber and greeted all the members of the council. The council consisted of 2 parts, one was the shinobi part, which consisted of all the shinobi clan heads of the village, and the second was the civilian council, which consisted of elected members of the merchants guild, marketing district and some other civilian guilds. We are here to discuss the terms which have to be sent to Suna. They have sent a letter stating that they have surrendered and are waiting for our terms and conditions to be sent to them, the elder Himura stated neutrally, but everyone could see the smug feeling in his voice. We should ask for monetary compensation as well as some of their jutsu, stated members of the council. We should ask them to send their Jinchuriki to our village as a hostage, stated a man sternly. This man looked old and had bandages covered his right eye, and his right hand also was bandaged up. Some of the civilian council didn't like the suggestion, as they thought that having 1 demon was more than enough. I would like to propose that we send a term stating that they have to send a strong kunoichi to our village in a marriage, Hiashi suggested. Yes, seeing the low quality of this generation kunoichis, it would be a very good advantageous. But I suggest that we add the stipulation that it is non-negotiable. Yes, that would be a good move on our part and it would benefit our village largely, Kaharu stated. So it's decided we will send these terms to them immediately. Suna, village hidden in sand. Council chamber. We have received the letter from Konoha telling their terms for our surrender, Baki told the council. Please read the file which has been provided to each of you, it contains all the details, but we shall discuss all the major terms in this session. The councilman spoke to the remaining members of the council. If you see the file you can see the main terms are mostly what we expected, but one of the biggest problem is them asking for one of our kunoichi to their village in marriage. This caused quite a lot of confusion in some of the members in the council, whereas some of other councilmen saw what was asked of them. Yes, they seem not to trust us and want no chance of us betraying them once again, one of the shinobi present told the council. They are quite clever, as everyone saw the standard of their kunoichis in the Chunin exams, not one kunoichi of theirs made it to the finals. But even if we have to send our best kunoichi to them, they haven't stated that they will choose the groom, which could be an advantage to us, Baki stated happily. Baki, you sound as if you already have an idea on whom we can choose, one councilman said. Yes, but for my whole plan to work we need the acceptance of Temari. Why do you need Temari's acceptance for this? Because I propose that we send Temari as our bride to the village, and for the groom we shall choose Uchiha Sasuke. But why her? She is one of our most promising kunoichi, and why the last Uchiha, the councilman asked. Baki just sighed at this, he really didn't want to elaborate on this plan of his. Alright, I will explain, so listen carefully. Temari is still developing her skills and she won't reach her full potential since Konoha doesn't have many wind users. This way we can keep our Jonin ranked kunoichi out of their hands. Konoha can't blame our sincerity as we are giving up our Yandere Kazukija's daughter, and as for why the last Uchiha, his name, should be proof enough, and moreover that boy is very strong as proof from the match, and once he has an offspring with Temari, we can manipulate the situation by having one boy of that clan marry into our village, this way we can gain the famed Sharingan to our village. Yes, that is a very good plan, and it just needs the acceptance from Temari. Let's hope that she accepts it, she can be very stubborn, and the rumors surrounding Gaara are very troubling, one of the councilmen said. Don't worry, I will talk to her and I will convince her, Baki said. What's happening? I don't understand, it was never like this with him before, how can he change so much in such a short time? A blonde girl asked the boy standing next to her. I have no idea and have no clue whatsoever how this happened, the boy replied. Currently the blonde girl and the boy who was in a cat costume were watching their youngest brother meditating calmly. They were shocked to see him not giving of any killing intent, he didn't have any crazed look, and neither did he utter a word about killing anyone or about proving his existence. The said boy had red hair and tanuki-like eyes with dark circles around his eyes, currently he was pondering about the revelation he heard from the other Jinchuriki in Konoha. Precious people, the concept was foreign to him, he didn't have anyone whom he could say was precious to him, the only possible person who could come close to that was his sister. As thought about her, he remembered her being by his side even when he threatened to kill her. He needed to know more about this concept of precious people. "Would you two staring at me, it's getting annoying," Gaara said to his siblings in a neutral voice. Ankuro panicked and was about to run, but his sister Temari held him in his place. "Gaara, I know this is sudden, but I would like to know what happened to you and how you are so calm," Temari asked. "I have had a lot to think about in the past few days. After my battle with Uzumaki, he said some things that have changed my view on a lot of things," Gaara replied again in a neutral voice. "Oh, what did he say?" she asked with genuine curiosity. "Nothing you need to know for the moment," Gaara replied and started to walk away from them. Temari was once again shocked her brother brushed her off and didn't threaten her. Whatever that Uzumaki had said had a huge impact on her brother. She vowed to know what they talked about. Temari was training in one of the training grounds. It was starting to get dark and she knew she should have gone home by now, but she was working on this particular jutsu for quite some time and wanted to finish it. Just as she was finished, her sensei Baki came to the training field. "Temari, can I have a minute with you? I need to discuss some things which has been decided in today's council meeting." Hearing this, Temari just nodded her head to her sensei to continue. "We have received the terms for our surrender from Konoha and they have asked for a kunoichi to be wed to one of their shinobi." Hearing this, a pit formed in Temari's stomach. She could guess what she was going to hear next. "The council has decided you will be sent to Konoha. I know it's shocking, but you have to understand that it's the best decision for the village. And I would also like to say you have another mission with this marriage. You are to sire a child of your groom as soon as possible." This shocked Temari as she didn't think she would be used like this by her village. But she knew that this was the life of a kunoichi. "Sensei, can I at least think about this?" Temari asked, tears threatening to spill from her eyes. "I'm sorry, Temari, but you don't have a choice in this matter. The council has already decided and I'm just here to inform you the news," Baki replied neutrally, trying to sound as apologetic as possible. "Can I at least know who I'm going to get married to?" Temari asked fearfully. She didn't want to be married some noble who was around her father's age and she definitely didn't want to be just a trophy wife. "Sure, the council has chosen Uchiha Sasuke as your groom," he said to her. Temari once again was shocked to hear this. She saw him injure Gaara, but she also saw the foul chakra he emitted when he battled Gaara and she didn't like the guy's attitude. She knew she had no choice in this matter now. Hardening herself, she said, "Sensei, I will take this mission. I will come and meet the council tomorrow to give my consent." Hearing this, Baki just grinned internally as his plan had gone very well. He left the training field informing Temari to arrive to the meeting around 11. As soon as her sensei left, she slumped down and hugged her knees to her chest and started to cry. But unknown to her, a figure had heard their talk and decided what he would do. This was a new experience for Jiraiya. He had experienced a lot of things in his life: pain of betrayal from his teammate Orochimaru, rejection of his love from Tsunade. But he never let those things affect him too much, but the sudden change of behavior from his godson towards him affected him greatly. The boy and he had a very good relation. They would tease each other and get on each other's nerves, but both enjoyed each other's company. But after Naruto had woken up from his coma after the battle with Orochimaru and Kabuto, he hadn't talked to Jiraiya too much, and whenever Jiraiya talked with Naruto, he would just reply only as much required and move away from him. Jiraiya didn't think much at first, but when Naruto had refused to be trained by him, that shocked him to the core. He didn't know what he had done to get on the kid's bad side, but he didn't like it and Naruto just didn't respond to him. As the group made their way towards Konoha, Jiraiya decided to confront Naruto and know what exactly he did. As these thoughts were going through Jiraiya's head, Tsunade's thoughts were completely different. She was a bit nervous and she knew it wasn't for taking the mantle of Hokage, but because of Naruto. He had said that he would tell his decision about her offer once they reached the village. Just as they reached the village gates, Naruto excitedly inside the village. "Bachan, I'm going to Ichiraku Ramen and will meet you in the hospital once you come to heal Kakashi-sensei and Uchiha-san," Naruto yelled excitedly. None of the members missed the Uchiha jab at Sasuke. They just went on thinking they would talk to him later. Naruto ran towards Ichiraku's excitedly and came inside the ramen stand and yelled, "Hey old man, can I get some ramen here? I'm starving," he shouted to the stand owner. "Oh Naruto, it's good to see you. I was wondering when you would come back. Here, the first bowl is on the house," the ramen owner said happily. Naruto finished his ramen and went to his crappy apartment and lay on his bed. He started to think about all the things his father had told him. He was happy that his father and mother didn't abandon him like the villagers told him. He knew he could have been treated at least a bit better if his godfather had taken care of him. He could never forgive him for the loneliness he had experienced. He knew he would have to improve his skills, knowledge and intelligence. He had work hard from now on and become strong so that he could take his father's name when the time came without any problems. As he was musing in his thoughts, he remembered that he had to talk with Bachan. He got off his bed, washed his face and made his way towards the hospital. He knew that this talk with Bachan would most likely change his life. In the council hall, Konoha. 3 days before the arrival of Tsunade and group. Before Tsunade had arrived, the council had received the letter from Suna. The hidden sand village had agreed to all their conditions, but there was one major shock to the elders of Konoha. The entire council had predicted that since Konoha did not send the groom's name, the Suna council would choose the last loyal Uchiha as the groom. It was well thought out plan and had the advantage of having the Uchiha Sasuke inside the village. The elders knew that the boy was flight risk and with a marriage he could be tied down inside the village. But the elders were shocked that the Suna council had not even mentioned the name of the boy but asked for the hand of the village pariah. The elders knew the boy's lineage and were very, if the boy got to know about his parentage now it would be devastating for the village, with more than half the economy of Konoha being dependent on the combined wealth of Uzumaki clan fund and Namikaze Minato's fund, and not to mention the political backlash from the Fire Daimyo, since Kushina was clan heiress and princess of the land of whirlpools. They had to tread carefully on this new situation, and so the elders decided to call a vote on the issue. The entire shinobi clan voted for the union between Naruto and Temari. Present. The elders were a bit scared now. They had signed the papers for the marriage between Temari and Naruto, but after hearing Tsunade talk about the blonde boy as though he was her son was causing panic for the elders. They knew they had to inform the women about the marriage. Instead of informing the Hokage verbally, they just placed the document on her table for her to read. "What the hell is this? Who authorized this?" yelled Tsunade as soon as she read the document pertaining to Naruto's marriage. "Hokage-sama, as you can see the treaty with Suna was important and since we were the one proposed the marriage clause, we can't deny them," replied Homura. Tsunade sighed. She knew none of her screaming would matter and the passing of the document had been done legally in the absence of Hokage. She decided that she would tell Naruto about this when she would meet him at the hospital. She read the document once again and sighed knowing she had just 2 more weeks till the Suna party would arrive. She took the document with her and made her way towards the hospital to treat the members of Team 7. Naruto reached the entrance of the hospital and waited for Tsunade to come. He didn't have to wait as Tsunade and Shizune came near the hospital in a few minutes after Naruto. "Bachan, would you mind hearing me before going inside and treat the patients?" Naruto asked without any hint of jovialness in his voice. Tsunade just nodded her head and asked for the blonde boy to continue. "Bachan, about your offer, does it still stand?" Naruto asked with some embarrassment. Hearing the words coming from Naruto, Tsunade just grinned. "Of course Gaki, it still does," Tsunade replied. "That Bachan, I would love to be a part of your family, but can you do me favor before we can make it official?" Naruto asked, rubbing the back of his neck sheepishly. "Sure Gaki, what is this favor you are asking? You need some tips for going out with a girl?" Tsunade asked teasingly and laughed hard when Naruto had blushed. "Nothing like that Bachan, I wanted to ask you to remove Jiraiya as my godfather." The week before Naruto's arrival to Konoha, Temari and Baki waited for the arrival of all the members of the council. Temari had decided with a heavy heart to go through all the conditions of the treaty. She had cried herself to sleep last night. Once all the members of the council came, Baki stated. "We are presented here to know the decision of our Kunoichi Sabaku no Temari to the marriage proposal by Konoha." The council murmured among them and waited for her decision. "Respected council, I have decided to go through with marriage proposal, but not for my happiness, but for the love I have for my home, and my acceptance bring about some sense of peace among the 2 villages, and I also am prepared to fulfill the secondary mission." Temari announced her decision to the council. The council talked among them happily and was nodding their heads. "We the members of the council in the absence of the Kazukiage, respect your decision and are passing it with a full vote of confi." Just before he could finish his sentence, the door of the council chamber suddenly were smashed open from the sand. Everyone inside the council chamber was scared knowing that the only person who could use sand in the village was Gaara. Gaara stepped inside the chamber, releasing his killing intent without any care. He approached the middle of the room and looked towards the council standing or waiting. "I heard that you are planning to marry of my sister to the last Uchiha of Konoha, is it true?" Gaara asked the council neutrally, his face showing no emotion. Gaara waited for someone to reply but didn't receive any reply from any of them. He turned towards his sister and asked. "Are you agreeing to this proposal of your free will or are you being pressured?" he asked. Temari was shocked once again by her brother's behavior. He never showed any kind of emotion towards her, but now she could feel the hint of emotion in his question. "Hi, I agreed to this out of my free will," she replied. "Fine, I will agree to this only on one condition, you will not marry the Uchiha, but will marry the person who defeated me. I wish for you to marry Uzumaki." Naruto, Gaara said again stoically. A few shinobi members of the council started to argue about this but were soon silenced when Gaara used his sand to choke one of them into unconsciousness. After making the whole council agree to his request, demand, he left the council chambers. Outside the council chamber, Gaara was walking away from the chamber with a slight annoyed look as he was getting new type of reaction from the villagers, some glares were showing surprise and others looked scared. Gaara made his way towards the park as his feet just dragged him there, he just sat there and watched some kids play with a ball, as they were playing some small girl missed her catch and the ball came towards Gaara. The small girl who missed the ball shouted, "Hey Wani-chan, can you pass the ball please?" Gaara was taken aback by the girl. He was so shocked that he didn't even notice the girl running towards him to get the ball. "Wani-chan, you okay? Why didn't you throw the ball back to me?" the girl asked with innocence that it put a small smile on Gaara's face. "Omen, I was thinking about something," Gaara replied, trying to put as much emotion as he could. The girl didn't really think much about his answer and asked. "Wani-chan, will you play with us?" Gaara did not know what to tell the girl, this was the first time someone wanted to play with him. He agreed to play with the girl and her friends and went near the group and started playing. Temari saw this and pinched herself thinking she might be in some type of dream or was caught in a genjutsu. She couldn't believe her eyes at seeing Gaara acting normal and sane. She couldn't take it anymore and made her way towards him. Seeing his sister walk towards him, Gaara stopped playing and told the kids he needed to go. The girl who had asked him to play dropped her face in sadness and went towards him and asked. "Wani-chan, will you come and play with us tomorrow?" Gaara just gave the child a nod and started to walk towards his sister when he felt a tug on his shirt. He turned around and saw the girl holding her small finger. "Wani-chan, you forgot to pinky promise me," she smiled. Gaara looked confused at this and saw his sister laughing with an amused expression on her face, she motioned for him to hold the small girl's finger and promise her. "Okay, I pinky promise that I will come and play with you tomorrow," he replied. Gaara made his way towards Temari who was waiting for him. "Gaara, what happened to you? You're behaving strangely, please answer," she pleaded him to reply. Gaara looked at her and saw her face, which was looking for answers from him. He let out a slight sigh and motioned for her to follow him. They walked towards one of the training fields. The walk was silent with different thoughts going through both siblings' mind. They reached a training ground which was on the outskirt of the village. "Temari, what exactly do you want to know about?" Gaara asked Temari. A lot of question went through her head which she wanted to ask, but she wasn't able to think of one particular one. She took a deep breath and asked. "Gaara, there are too many questions to ask, but my biggest question which I want to ask is why you interfered on my behalf in the council chamber." Gaara wasn't surprised by this question, he knew he had to tell her and convince her of his sincerity. "Temari, do you remember Uzumaki Naruto?" Gaara asked. "Hi, how could I not? He was the one who defeated you," she told him a bit nervously, trying not to anger her brother. "When Uzumaki defeated me, he told me he was like me, he carries the same burden as I. He didn't give up hope on people and found his reason for his existence. He told me that the reason for his strength was that he needed to protect his precious people. He said even I could find the same strength. At first I thought I wouldn't be able to find anyone precious to me, but then I remembered that you were there for me, even when I was threatening you and Kankuro." Temari listened to him and was surprised as she had never heard her brother talk this much, but her eyes widened when her brother told that she was precious to him. As she was listening, tears started flow from her eyes. "Temari, when I overheard your conversation with Baki-sensei and when you broke down crying after he left, I was saddened by it very much. I couldn't understand what I was feeling, but I knew that I didn't want you to cry. So I went and found all the terms of the treaty, and I understood why you took the decision, but I knew you wouldn't be happy with the Uchiha, so I came and told what was best of you." Gaara finished and just looked down the ground, waiting for some sort of reaction from his sister. Temari was stunned from hearing all this, she didn't know what to say. Her brother had changed and cared for her so much so that he would take on the whole council for her. Receiving no answer from his sister, Gaara was saddened that his first attempt to have someone accept him. "Omen, Temari, I thought my interference would help you at least a bit," he replied sadly, which could be seen through his eyes. Temari's eyes snapped up when she heard her brother's voice and saw the hurt in his eyes, she ran up to him and hugged him. Gaara was surprised to see that his hand hadn't risen up to protect him, but he felt a warmth spread from his chest when his sister had hugged him, and a few tears escaped from his eyes for finally getting some sort of reassurance for his effort. "Arigato, Gaara, I really appreciate it and I'll try to be there for you as much as I can from now on," she replied, hugging her brother and crying tears of happiness for finally having her brother back with her, and for all this, she had to thank the blonde from Konoha. "Uzumaki Naruto, it will be interesting to meet you personally," thought Temari. In Konoha, present time. Tsunade was sitting inside the Hokage chamber nursing a huge headache from the request she got from Naruto. She was shocked when Naruto told the reason for her request. Flashback. "Nothing like that, Bachan. I wanted to ask you to remove Jiraiya as my godfather," he said as it was nothing. Tsunade's eyes went wide hearing this, she turned and saw Naruto with an unreadable expression on his face. "Naruto, how do you know about this? Who told you?" she asked, trying to control the shock which was evident in her voice. Naruto looked at her. Bachan, what I'm about to say to you is very important for me, and I'm trusting you with this, please don't break it, I don't think I can survive if you betray my trust. Tsunade was once again shocked to hear that Naruto had placed so much trust in her. During my battle with Kabuto he struck near my chest and cut my connection from the fox. When I was dying the fox pushed as much chakra as he could to save me. This triggered a failsafe placed by the yondaime in the seal. The yondaime told me everything. I know that I am the son of Konoha's yellow flash Namek is Minato and the red hot-blooded habanero Uzumaki Kushina. Tsunade's jaw literally hit the floor hearing Naruto telling about his parents. My father told me the circumstances which happened during my birth and why his decision on sealing the Kyuubi inside of me. He was furious once he got to know that Jiraiya didn't look after me and the village ignored his dying wish. He also told me that after everything I had gone through in this village, he would gladly support my decision if I ever choose to leave Konoha. Tsunade was getting nervous now. She didn't want her new brother-son figure to leave her. Naruto, I don't know the extent of how much you suffered in this village, but please don't leave for my sake, give the village which my grandfather built another chance. Tsunade pleaded him with tears rolling down her cheeks. Bachan, you are the only reason why I even came back to this village, and I don't know what it is like to be loved by a mother, but I want to experience it, and you are the only one I want to call my Kachan, if you would let me. He said the last part in barely a whisper, but Tsunade heard it. Tsunade saw the longing in Naruto's eyes. She had seen that in look in herself whenever she looked herself in the mirror, the feeling of belonging to someone, to be loved by someone, a feeling of complete acceptance for both their good and bad. She didn't want to deny Naruto that motherly, she hugged him protectively. When Naruto felt the hug he was startled, but soon he hugged her back, tears flowing down his cheek. Years of suppressed pain finally came out in the form of tears. He whispered one sentence that gave Tsunade's whole life a sense of fulfillment. Arigato Kachan, arigato for accepting me in your life. No Naru-chan, arigato for giving me the privilege of being your mother, she cried happily. After a few minutes she saw that Naruto had fallen asleep hugging her. She smiled seeing the calm expression on his face and carried him to the hospital and laid him on one of the empty beds and went to treat the patients she had come to treat. Shizune, who was standing beside Tsunade, witnessed the whole event and was happy that finally her teacher had found a new reason to live her life to the fullest, yet she still worried about Naruto's request but didn't talk about it after seeing the smile on Tsunade's face. Then flashback. As Tsunade thought about what had happened, her teammate Jiraiya came through the window and asked boisterously. Hey Haim, you wanted to see me, anything important happened? Tsunade didn't know how to break the news to her teammate. Jiraiya, the news concerns Naruto and his request about you. At hearing this, Jiraiya got a confused look on his face and wondered about the request. Jiraiya, Naruto knows about his parents and about you being his godfather. Those words did it for Jiraiya. He paled and dreaded what he would hear next. He wanted to say something, but Tsunade raised her hand to let her continue. Jiraiya, there is no easy way for me to say this, but Naruto has requested me to remove you as his godfather and guardian. Jiraiya was lost. The creeping fear he had at the back of his mind had come true. He knew he had failed his godson and his student. He thought he would make it up by taking him as his apprentice and form some kind of bond without revealing about his position as the boy's godfather. Jiraiya, I think you should talk with Naruto and get to know the reason for his decision. He is currently sleeping at the hospital, you should go see him now, Tsunade told Jiraiya. Tsunade, please tell me how he got to know about his parents and me, and why is he in the hospital? Jiraiya asked with a solemn expression. Tsunade explained in detail about the whole ordeal. To say Jiraiya was surprised would be like saying Kakashi was rarely late to meetings. After hearing everything, Jiraiya raced towards the hospital to meet his godson. Jiraiya, I hope Naruto hasn't lost all his hope from you, she thought to herself seeing her teammate disappear from the tower. As she came back to her desk, she saw the file about Naruto's marriage and rubbed her temples, thinking of the reaction Naruto would give after hearing this. So how was the chapter? Any suggestion for the story is welcome, and please review more, it helps motivating me to update faster. In Konoha. His life had been full of failures. He couldn't stop his friend from betraying the village, he couldn't stop the death of his sensei or his student, he wasn't able to fulfill his role as a godfather, and now he was losing his godson, and he couldn't help but blame anyone else but himself for the position he was in now. Jiraiya made his way towards the room where Naruto was sleeping. He was nervous, he didn't know what to say to his godson and how to explain why he did what he had to do. Jiraiya opened the door to the room and saw that Naruto was still asleep. He entered the room and sat on the nearby chair and waited for Naruto to wake up. 20 minutes later Naruto woke up. He saw that he was in an unfamiliar room. As the memories came back to him, he smiled. The smile was a very small one, but it showed the true happiness he was feeling. As he was contemplating about the talk he had with Tsunade, he heard a small cough and saw that Jiraiya sitting in his room. His mood instantly changed. A frown appeared on his face just for a moment, but it was replaced with his usual goofy look. Jiraiya didn't miss the change in his godson's mood, he had clearly seen the frown which had appeared on Naruto's face. "Naruto, I wanted to talk with you." "What would you possibly have to talk with someone like me, Jiraiya-sama, and why are you here? Don't you have to be in some onsen doing research?" Naruto replied, barely restraining his anger. Jiraiya flinched at the tone Naruto had used. He wasn't able to see the optimism in the boy's eyes or the carefree expression on his face. Right then he knew the damage had been done, he needed to be careful with his interaction. "Naruto, I just heard your request from Tsunade, is it true? If then I want to know why." Naruto just gave a low chuckle and started to laugh, the laugh was becoming hysterical. After a few seconds he stopped laughing and looked at Jiraiya. When Jiraiya saw Naruto stare towards him he was shocked, the eyes there was no life in them, it was an empty look. Jiraiya wanted to say something, but the words didn't form. Naruto regained his composure and looked towards the ceiling. "Yes, it is true, I requested to remove you as my godfather," said Naruto, while spitting out the last word with venom. "For the reason you should know yourself, you are one of the great Sannin, aren't you?" Jiraiya flinched receiving the answer, and to be honest, he knew that he had failed Naruto. "Naruto, it's not like I wanted to abandon you, you need to understand that as the spy master, okay, the village, I had look out for the village, and I couldn't do it being here," Jiraiya replied. Naruto didn't show any emotion at hearing his reason, he just kept staring at the ceiling. After a few minutes he looked at Jiraiya and woke from the bed and stared to make his way towards the door. Jiraiya getting no answer from his godson. "Naruto, please just give me a chance, I know I screwed up, but please give me a chance, right my wrong." Naruto stopped dead in his track and turned towards the Toad Sannin with a furious expression and yelled. A chance, why the hell should I give a chance to you when no one in this village gave me one? Even the shinobi who know about my parents didn't do anything for me. Do you have any idea how it was growing up here? I was denied my existence in this village, have you ever had the thoughts of suicide at the age of 8? Naruto stopped before he said too much and looked at the stunned expression of Jiraiya and calmed himself and continued. "You say that you had to take care of the village, I understand it, but it doesn't excuse you from not seeing me for the past 12 years, do you know how much I suffered? Just one single meeting would have been enough for me, I would have some hope in my life. You say that you are a spy master, answer me this, have you ever asked any of your contacts in the village about my treatment?" Naruto asked. Jiraiya didn't have any answer to this question. He had assumed that the Sandaime would take care of Naruto. He lowered his head in shame. Seeing Jiraiya's silence, Naruto just sighed and made his way towards the door to go to his apartment. "Naruto, please stop. I'm really sorry, I really am, please forgive me, please give me chance, I beg you," Jiraiya shouted. "Jiraiya-sama, you shouldn't be begging some no-name genin like me, and for not giving you a chance I'm sorry I can't, because at the most important time in my life you choose the village, and now I'm choosing my happiness, rather than giving you your forgiveness." Naruto moved just outside the room and turned back and said. "Jiraiya-sama, forgiveness is earned, not given, even my father had to earn it when he met me goodbye." Naruto left the hospital and made his way to his apartment. Jiraiya was on his knees, tears flowing down his face. After a long time in his life he had felt truly helpless. Tsunade sat in her office and was racking her brain on how to tell Naruto the news about his marriage. As she was thinking, Shizune came inside the room with hurried breath. "Tsunade-sama, there is a problem with the adoption papers for Naruto." "What? What kind of problem?" Tsunade shouted. "Since Naruto is the last of the Uzumaki clan here in Konoha, he gets the status of clan heir when he reaches the rank of Chunin, and so he can't be adopted," Shizune replied. "Ah. Why is this whole village, no, this whole world conspiring against the happiness of Naruto?" Tsunade yelled angrily. "What are we going to do now, Tsunade-sama?" Shizune asked. "What else, Shizune, we need to tell him and hope he forgives me for getting his hopes high," Tsunade said with a sad tone. "Hi, let's go and meet him," Shizune said. Tsunade and Shizune made their way towards Naruto's apartment. "Shizune, are you sure this is the right way?" Tsunade asked, seeing that they were making their way through the slums of Konoha. "Hi Tsunade-sama, I got the address from the ninja registration book." Tsunade and Shizune finally reached the building where Naruto was residing. Walking up towards the apartment they couldn't help but feel sorry for Naruto. After walking up 3 flights of stairs they came to Naruto's room, they knocked the door and waited for the blonde to answer the door. After a few seconds Naruto opened the door. "Hey Ka-chan, Shizune-ni-chan, what brings you here?" Naruto asked happily. Tsunade and Shizune could clearly see the happiness in the boy's eyes when he saw them, this just hurt them more as they came bearing the bad news. "Naruto, can we come in?" Shizune asked, breaking the silence. "Hi, come in, and I'm sorry about the mess, I wasn't expecting any company today." As they entered the room they were shocked seeing the condition of the apartment. Tsunade was getting angry by the second reading the sayings written on the walls. Seeing the reaction of his new Ka-chan, Naruto said. "Don't worry about the writings. I've gotten over them a long time ago, they don't mean much to me now." Neri-chan, I'm afraid I have some bad news for you, your adoption was not possible, as you will be given the clan heir position when you reach Chunin, Tsunade said in a very sad tone. Naruto wasn't much surprised hearing this as his father had already told him why he couldn't be adopted when he was a child. It's okay Ka-chan, I don't need some papers to call you my mother. I just wanted your acceptance, that's it, Naruto replied. Tsunade was speechless hearing the words coming out from Naruto's mouth. She smiled warmly and hugged her son fiercely. Shizune just smiled seeing the scene but was beginning to get concerned for her brother as she noticed some changes in Naruto's personality. Thank you Neri-chan for understanding, as you have accepted me as your mother, as my son you will not live in this dump of an apartment from now on, you can live in one of the houses near the Senju compound, Tsunade said sternly. Hi Ka-chan, Naruto replied as tears of joy fell from his eyes. Okay then, come on we will go and have some dinner, Tsunade said to both Naruto and Shizune as she left the apartment. Shizune and Naruto looked at one another and smiled and followed Tsunade. It had been 3 days after Naruto had moved from his old crappy apartment to his new house near the Senju compound. The owners of the house initially didn't want to rent their house to the demon brat but were easily convinced when Tsunade took over the talking. Now Naruto had a small house, the house was a simple duplex with 2 bedrooms, a kitchen and a living room and a guest room. Naruto had moved into his new house with a help teammate which consisted of Hinata, Kiba and Shino. Naruto was a bit surprised since it was Hinata who helped arranging the house properly. In the Hokage chamber. Naruto stood there shocked, his eyes were wide as dinner plates, his jaws were hitting the floor. Tsunade was trying not to laugh at Naruto's reaction, while Shizune and Taunton had a massive sweat drop. Calm down Naru-chan, it's not the end of the world, Tsunade said sarcastically. What the hell Ka-chan? How the hell am I supposed to be calm when you said I'm getting married? Naruto all but shouted. Tsunade had to hold back a snicker seeing his reaction to the news, though she was relieved to see that he didn't take the news the wrong way. Naru-chan, I'm sorry I can't stop this from happening as this proposal was accepted before I was instated as the Hokage, but look at the bright side, you get a beautiful girl as your bride, the Hokage said teasingly. Naruto just blushed at the word bride and started shaking his head. Ah-chan, I'm just 12, how I can even get married? Naruto, you will be living with Temari together, get to know her first, try and befriend her, and you might be surprised. You are almost 13. How can I befriend her, what if she is like Sakura and hits me, Naruto asked. Both Shizune and Tsunade were surprised when he mentioned the name of Sakura. When Naruto had told them about his crush towards the pink-haired girl, they were genuinely surprised, and when he told them about her attitude and how she treated him, Tsunade was pretty pissed. After hearing everything about his classmates from him, Tsunade decided to let Naruto know that his crush on Sakura was unhealthy, where she was borderline abusive towards him. Naruto didn't like what Tsunade said about Sakura, but when he thought about it for a day he finally realized that his Ka-chan was right. Naruto, not every girl is like that, if it comes to that you can always approach me. Hi, but I think she will not be happy with this marriage, since I'm the one who defeated her brother during the invasion. There might be some truth there, anyways you should know that she will coming here in a week and I'll try and make your life as comfortable as possible, just stay out of trouble, Tsunade said. Hi Ka-chan, so can I leave now, Naruto asked. Tsunade just nodded her head and saw him leave the office as soon as he left. You come in now, Jiraiya, Tsunade said. As soon as she said those words, Jiraiya came through the window and stood next to Tsunade. Tsunade could see that Jiraiya was still hurt by Naruto's words, there was no positive vibe coming from him, he hadn't uttered a single perverted word for the past 3 days. She knew her friend needed her help right now. Jiraiya, stop wallowing in sadness, you have a job to do. It's my job that cost me my Godsenheim, Jiraiya replied sadly. Tsunade couldn't help but feel for her friend, as a shinobi she understood why he did what he had to do, but still he shouldn't have left Naruto completely out of his life. Before her thought could move on, Shizune interrupted. Tsunade-sama, I think there is some problem with Naruto psychologically. What do you mean, Shizune, what did you observe? Tsunade asked hurriedly. It's just that since our return to Konoha, it feels as though that Naruto has lost original attitude and seems more serious most of the time, Shizune said. Tsunade, hearing this, released the breath she was holding. Is that all, Shizune? Tsunade asked, to which Shizune nodded. Ah, thank Kami, it's nothing serious, Tsunade said, giving out a long sigh. I'm care to explain why it isn't serious, Jiraiya asked a bit worriedly. It's bound to happen, he may be a shinobi and considered an adult, but he still is an 12-year-old boy who is fighting to gain acceptance in this village. When he found out about his parents and got to know that he could have had a parental figure in his life who could have accepted him and have some happiness in his life, his will must have cracked. Jiraiya felt ashamed at hearing this again. I can tell you surely now that he has severe trust issues in this entire village, except for me and Shizune. It's good he's acting out differently, it shows that even he is human. If he stayed the same after all this I would have checked for his mental stability, but that's not necessary now, he will be back to his old self, but it will take some time, but if he can find some people whom he can trust it will speed up the process, Tsunade said to both Jiraiya and Shizune. I just hope you're right, Jiraiya said. Jiraiya, you really should stop mopping around and try to make amends with Naruto, he did say that forgiveness is earned, and even his father had to earn his forgiveness, Tsunade said. He said that bit, but I don't know what to do to earn his forgiveness, Jiraiya replied. That is something you need to figure out yourself, my suggestion is go to Mount Mayakabu and rest for contemplate on what to do and talk with Naruto after some time, Tsunade replied. Hearing the suggestion, Jiraiya nodded his head and for the first time in 3 days he felt a little optimistic. Though now Jiraiya, I still need to finish this goddamn paperwork and announce to the shinobi about the engagement and eventual marriage of Naruto and Temari, Tsunade said irritably as Jiraiya hopped out of the window. She didn't know eventual headache that would occur when she would announce the news tomorrow, especially from the Rookie 9. Inside the Hokage chamber. The Hokage's office was fairly crowded this morning and Tsunade could feel the headache coming from the news she was about to deliver. Inside the office were the Konoha 12- teammate as they had gone for a C-rank mission and weren't due to return for another 2 days. Naruto looked serious with his new outfit which she had bought him yesterday as she refused her son to wear the orange monstrosity. Now Naruto was wearing a black muscle t-shirt over a dark blue zip-up jacket and a black pant with black sandals with blue trimming, yet there was his usual warmth radiating from him. Next to Naruto stood Sasuke who had a look of arrogance on his face and next to him stood Sakura who was frowning over the Uchiha. Ino was looking at Sasuke dreamily but would glance at Naruto every now and then. Choji was standing there eating a bag of chips and Shikamaru stood like he would fall asleep any moment. Tsunade cleared her throat. Everyone in the room looked at her attentively. I've called everyone here to make an announcement, it's regarding the new treaty alliance with Suna. They have asked for an arranged marriage with one of our shinobi. Hearing this, silence occupied the room with everyone digesting the news and everyone had their own thoughts about this. Choji didn't look concerned and Shikamaru was thinking about who the bride and groom would be, while Sakura and Ino looked concerned thinking their Sasuke would be chosen as he was the great Uchiha. The said Uchiha was thinking that he would be chosen because of his clan name and he was already thinking of accepting as he did require a strong female to rebuild his clan. The silence was broken by Shikamaru who asked Hokage-sama who are the bride and groom. Everyone waited curiously for the answer. The bride is Sabaku no Temari Yondaime Kazukiya's daughter, Tsunade replied and waited to see the expression on everyone's when she would announce the groom's name. Hearing Temari's name, the girls paled as they knew the girls was strong as well as beautiful. Their concerns grew more when they saw how interested their Sasuke was. Shikamaru looked impassive but his mind was racing through the list of guys who would be the groom. Shikamaru had been impressed with the girl back at the Chunin exams. Sasuke was delighted to hear the name as he too was impressed by Temari and knew that she was a very powerful kunoichi. The moment he had heard about the marriage proposal he had assumed that he would be chosen by Suna as even he knew that Suna would choose him as the groom. Naruto didn't look fazed as he already knew about the whole affair beforehand from his mother. Tsunade looked at the varying expression from all the rookies in the room and cleared her throat once again and said. As I saying, the bride will be Sabaku no Temari and the groom is Uzumaki Naruto. Nobody said anything, silence reigned for a few minutes and the silence was broken by a loud shout of what? Normally everyone would be thinking the shout would come from one of the Sasuke fangirls, but how wrong they were, it came from the most unexpected person in the room. Shikamaru couldn't contain his surprise at the announcement, the news threw his thinking out of the box and this had caused the outburst from him. Choji was more surprised by Shikamaru's outburst rather than the actual news of Naruto being chosen as the groom. Sakura and Ino were surprised to hear the news and when the news sunk in both were happy that their Sasuke-kun was still available. Sasuke was shocked and he was fuming inside not because he wasn't chosen but because Naruto was chosen instead of him and he wanted to ask them why they had chosen Naruto but was beaten to it. Sorry for the outburst, Hokage-sama, but why have they chosen Naruto? I don't understand the logic behind it as it mostly expected to have them marry into a reputed clan. Hearing this, Naruto gritted his teeth knowing he belonged to the Uzumaki clan but couldn't tell anyone about his heritage. Tsunade flinched at hearing the clan remark from Shikamaru which went unnoticed. We don't know why they have chosen Naruto over the clan heir, but we made the mistake of letting them choose the groom, so we can't deny them of their choice, Tsunade replied. This still didn't answer the question going through Shikamaru's head, but he kept quiet and just nodded his head. After hearing this, Sasuke excused himself and exited from the chamber. As he was leaving, he gave a dark look towards Naruto and left. After Sasuke left, Tsunade made it clear to everyone present that Temari is to be treated with same respect as every other kunoichi is treated in the village and whoever shows hostile behavior towards either Naruto or Temari will severely be reprimanded. After the announcement everyone was dismissed except for Naruto who stayed back to talk some things with his mother. "So Naru-chan, what is it that you want to talk about?" Tsunade asked. Naruto was happy hearing how his mother called it gave a sense of belonging to someone. He came near the chair nearby it, sat down and asked. "Ah-chan, I wanted to know all the details of this marriage and wanted to know whether the marriage can be dissolved at a later date." Tsunade was surprised hearing this but understood why Naruto asked that information. "No, Sachi, the marriage cannot be dissolved as you put it because this isn't political marriage, it needs to be upheld, and as for the details, Temari will stay with you in the same house and when she reaches the age of 15, a marriage ceremony will be held and you have to consummate the marriage that night and produce an heir before she reaches the age of 17, Tsunade said, not liking the idea of her son becoming a father at such a young age. Naruto stood still and didn't give a single reaction. Seeing no reaction from her son, Tsunade went near Naruto to knock him down and when she went near him and saw him she started to laugh. Shizune, who saw this, wondered what happened and went near Naruto and when she reached she saw the huge blush on Naruto's face. His eyes had rolled back and he had pulled a true Hinata Hyuga style feint no jutsu. Inside the Senju compound. Naruto sat there on the sofa with a huge blush on his face as he had just received the talk from his mother and sister. When Tsunade and Shizune found out that Naruto had been left out of the sex ed class in the academy and never knew how babies were made, they took it upon themselves to give him the talk as they didn't want some guy to give it to him and turn him into a pervert. "So Naru-chan, do you have any question?" asked Shizune. Naruto still had his head bent downwards and just shook his head, unable to see his sister in the eye. "Alright Sachi, I'm going to give you some money tomorrow to buy some supplies for the house since Temari will be joining you in a week," Tsunade said to Naruto. "Ah-chan, I don't know what all things need to be bought for a girl and moreover, no shop is going to sell things to me," Naruto replied with a deadpan expression. Tsunade just pinched the bridge of her nose. She couldn't believe how the village her grandfather had built had fallen. "I'll try my best to change that from now on, but for tomorrow take Shizune with you, she will know what to buy and the shop owners won't dare try anything with her." "Hi, arigato ka-chan." 2 days later. The maid had just returned from their C-ranked mission, it was an escort mission of some nobleman. As they finished the briefing in the Hokage Tower they were on their way home, Kurenai stopped her team and said. "Alright team, you have tomorrow off, rest well and meet at training ground 8 day after tomorrow at 10 in the morning." "Hi, sensei," chorused every member of Team 8 and went their separate ways. As Hinata was going towards her clan compound she saw Ino and Sakura sitting in the park and chatting. She particularly liked Sakura as she didn't like the way Sakura treated her love and she was jealous of how her crush was behind the pink-haired girl. As Hinata was about to pass them, Ino saw her. "Hinata. When did you get back?" Ino shouted to Hinata. "I just came back from our mission," Hinata replied with her usual stutter. "Oh, that's good. Hey, did you hear the news about Naruto?" Sakura asked. "No, I just came back. What is this news about Naruto-kun?" Hinata asked with worry clearly evident in her voice. "Naruto is getting engaged in a week's time with that Suna girl from the Chunin exams," Sakura said a bit too happily. Hinata's world shattered in the moment the words left Sakura's mouth, tears formed in her eyes and started to spill as she ran from there towards her house. Sakura looked confusedly in the direction in which Hinata ran as she was watching. Ino elbowed Sakura lightly and screamed. "Poorhead, you really should watch what you talk and how to tell something important to others." "What do you mean, Ino pig?" "I mean Hinata has a huge crush on Naruto since academy and you didn't even think how she would feel when you said Naruto is getting engaged," Ino replied angrily. "Oh, it's her problem anyway, I'm going home now, I need to prepare for tomorrow's training," Sakura replied with no hint of remorse of her action. Ino just shook her head at Sakura's attitude and made her way home and stared to think about how to make Sasuke fall in love with her. At the same time Hinata had run inside her room with tears in her eyes and curled into a ball and cried herself to sleep that night. In the Hyuga compound. Members of the Hyuga clan had seen the state in which Hinata had returned to home last evening. The main branch members thought cemented more as she had shown weakness openly by crying, whereas the branch members felt pity for her. The sun was just rising when Hinata woke up to the knocking of her door. As she woke up she remembered the news of her Naruto's engagement and her face lost its liveliness. "Come," she told the person who was knocking on the door. The slit opened and a Hyuga branch member came inside and said. "Hinata-sama, Hiashi-sama has requested your presence in the training dojo and he has asked for you come prepared for a spar with Hanabi-sama." Hinata's mood sunk even further hearing she had to fight her sister again. I will be there in a few minutes," Hinata replied with a dejected tone. As the branch member made his way out of the room, Hinata moved to the bathroom and took a bath and out on her training clothes, after a few minutes made her way towards the training dojo. Inside the training dojo sat Hiashi Hyuga, the clan head of the Hyuga clan, one of the most prestigious clan and noble clan of Konoha. Hiashi was a strict person by nature and always thought of the clan before himself. He sat there waiting for his eldest daughter to arrive to see if she had improved in the clan's taijutsu. Hinata entered timidly inside the dojo and greeted her father. "Aheo Otu-sama, Imitu. Hinata, I've heard that your recent mission was a success and your sensei praised your part in the mission. I wish to see these improvements, so you will have a spar with your sister now," Hiashi said, without even considering Hinata's greeting. "Hi," replied Hinata. "In this spar usage of chakra is allowed, but only for your taijutsu," he said for both his daughters. As both Hinata and Hanabi took the traditional Jaikin stance and readied themselves for the spar. "Hajime," Hiashi called. The spar was totally one-sided and ended in a matter of few minutes, with Hinata lying on the floor with most of her tenketsus closed. Hiashi was thoroughly disappointed in his daughter, and it could be seen on his face. As Hinata struggled to stand up, Hiashi congratulated Hanabi on her win and asked her to return to her room. "Hinata, I'm very disappointed in you," Hiashi said this as he was making his way towards the door. Just as he was about to leave, he heard Hinata tell something to him. He turned around and saw Hinata sitting on her knees with tears flowing down her cheek saying something. He was angered by Hinata's outward show of emotion and screamed. "Whatever you're saying, speak loudly." "Oh, Otu-sama, please kill me," Hinata said, just audible enough to be heard by Hiashi. When Hiashi heard those words, he felt as though he'd been slapped on his face. His body went stiff for a moment and tears formed in his eyes. His body collapsed onto the ground. No words came out of his mouth when he tried to speak. His brain couldn't comprehend what he had just heard. His daughter had asked him to kill her. Did she think he was such a cruel person? Just when that thought came in his head, he saw the memories of Hinata crying and how he was the cause of it in the past and how after his wife had died, he never once consoled Hinata, nor be there for any of her special moments in life, be it her first day of academy or the day of her graduation. That's when it dawned on him. He had pushed his daughter far away from his reach and had been so cold towards her that she would think her father would not be fazed by ending her life. "Hinata, why are you talking like that?" Hiashi asked. "Oh, Otu-sama, I saw how you looked at me after the spar. I'm a disappointment to Oyu and the C clan. I can't beat Hanabi-chan. My one motivation in this W world is forever R out of MI reach," Hinata replied. What motivation? Hinata, dreading to hear what her daughter couldn't reach. "And Naruto-kun, he is my motivation and I always believed that I would grow strong enough to walk beside him and tell him my feelings for him, but now I don't even have that chance. Oh, Otu-sama, I'm tired of everything, the ridicule being the disappointment of clan, and fearing for a life without Naruto-kun. Please kill me," Hinata said, crying without any stutter during the last part. Hinata didn't know what came over her. She had just told about her feelings towards Naruto in front of her father. She didn't if it was the stress from the constant failures in her life or the thought of losing Naruto forever from her life. As she finished talking, she felt exhaustion take over her as she hadn't eaten since yesterday afternoon and soon fell forward with blackness taking over her, and the last thing she saw was her father running towards her. Hiashi couldn't take it anymore. He ran towards Hinata and hugged her, all the while apologizing to her for his cold treatment towards her. When he looked at Hinata and saw that she had exhausted herself and had fallen asleep in his arms, he carried her to her room and laid her on her bed. "Rest, my daughter, I will bring your happiness back if it's the last thing I do," Hiashi whispered in Hinata's ear. Hiashi came out of Hinata's room and entered the clan's garden and sat down. He couldn't believe that he had caused his daughter this much misery in her life. At the same time, he couldn't believe that his daughter had fallen for the village Jinchuriki and was devastated by hearing the announcement of his engagement. He knew of the crush his daughter had for Naruto, but always thought that it would fade away after some time. It was kind of his fault, as even he could understand why his daughter had fallen for the boy, with the boys never say die attitude. Now he had to make sure of his daughter's safety, as he knew that his daughter might be lost to him if he didn't act now, and he had to think of something to help his daughter. It had been a few hours since Hiashi had left Hinata's room. As Hiashi was thinking, one of the branch members came running towards him and said in a panic-stricken voice. "Hiashi-sama, Hinata-sama is not waking up." One of the servants went to her room to give her some food, but when she tried to wake her up, Hinata-sama wasn't responding. The branch members have taken her to the hospital. For the first time after his wife died, Hiashi felt fear at losing his daughter. He ran towards the hospital to see his daughter. Hiashi reached the hospital and went to reception and asked. "In which room Hinata Hyuga is getting treated?" "Hyuga-sama, Lady Hinata is being treated in room 404. As soon as he heard it, he made a beeline towards the said room. As he reached the room, he saw Ko Hyuga standing outside the room. Hiashi saw the doctor coming out of Hinata's room and went towards them. "Doctor, what's wrong with my daughter?" Hiashi asked with concern in his voice. Both Ko and the doctor were surprised to hear this much emotion in Hiashi's voice. I'm afraid it isn't good news, Hyuga-sama, your daughter is in a mental coma, it's almost as if she has lost her will to live. Physically she is fine, I can't help too much here, but my advice would be to have Tsunade-sama to check her once. After hearing the doctor, Hiashi asked Ko to get an appointment with the Hokage for a meeting, for he needed to talk to her for all the problems. In Konoha, Tsunade didn't know what wrong had she done for her to deserve such punishments. She had been flooded with problems one after the other since she had arrived to the village, starting with the whole Naruto and Jiraiya, then Naruto and his adoption, and finally Naruto's marriage. Just when she thought all the headaches were finished, she now stood in front of a new headache. The said headache was Hiashi, Hyuga clan head of the Hyuga clan. Tsunade didn't want to believe there could be such a harsh family, but after going through and reading Hinata's personal files and after her therapy sessions with Hinata, she just wanted to go to the Hyuga clan compound and kill most of the members, starting with the man standing in front of her. Flashback. Hokage-sama, please come and see my daughter, she is in a mental coma. Hiashi had barraged inside the Senju compound when he had been unable to get an immediate appointment from the Hokage. Hiashi, what is the meaning of this? You can't barge in like this, shouted an angry Tsunade. I've just come back from the office, Hiashi, I'll come and look at your daughter in the morning, Tsunade said with a tired sigh. Hokage-sama, please, I beg you, I'll be more relieved if you checked her once, Hiashi asked pleadingly. Alright, let me just finish my dinner first, Tsunade replied and went to have her dinner as Hiashi made his way to the outside of Senju compound to wait for Tsunade. Half an hour later, Tsunade maid came outside the compound and met Hiashi. Both Hiashi and Tsunade made it to the hospital, where Tsunade asked Hiashi to stay outside and went inside to check on Hinata. After 3 hours so Tsunade came outside. As she reached Hiashi, he saw the angry expression on Tsunade's face and paled. As she came closer, he could feel the murderous aura coming from Tsunade. Tsunade slapped Hiashi in front of everyone present in the hospital and started to shout at him. What kind of a father are you? To treat your daughter in such a cruel way, and those elders, I'll kill them if I get the chance. Hiashi didn't respond aggressively, he knew he deserved the slap. Hinata, is she okay? Hiashi asked. Why would you care what happened to her? Isn't that how you raised her, letting her think she didn't mean anything to you? Tsunade snarled angrily at Hiashi. Hokage-sama, I've realized that what I did was wrong, please tell me, is my daughter okay? Hiashi asked with complete sincerity in his voice. Tsunade could feel the sincerity in Hiashi's voice and she could see that he really cared about his daughter. She's alright now, I woke her up from her coma, but we need to discuss some things, come to my office now. Hiashi was overjoyed with the news of his daughter waking up, he just nodded his head, followed Tsunade to the Hokage's office. As soon both Tsunade and Hiashi entered the office, Tsunade activated the privacy seal. Hiashi, I'm really disappointed in you and your clan and how they have treated Hinata, the girl has almost no self-confidence in herself. She is searching for some form of positive acceptance, Tsunade said, clearly unhappy at the Hyuga. Do you know how fragile her mind has become? After she woke up I asked her some questions casually, she was very hesitant at answering at first, but after she felt comfortable with me, she finally answered all the question and cried her heart out, Tsunade said sadly, as she couldn't think that a 13-year-old go through such emotional abuse at such an age. Tsunade's each word was hitting Hiashi's ego very hard, he never knew that Hinata was this hurt by her family. Tsunade looked at Hiashi and could clearly see the regret and guilt on Hiashi's face, so she thought of getting directly to the problem and try and improve the girl's life. Look here Hiashi, I know things seem quite bad for your daughter now, but we can help her, Tsunade said, trying to be reassuring to the Hyuga clan head. Hi, Hokage-sama, but what is the major problem we need to help her with? Hiashi asked. Right now her major problem is depression at thinking that she does not have a chance to tell her feelings to Naruto, and even if she did she is afraid of Naruto rejecting her, Tsunade said, rubbing her temples as a lot of problems seemed to revolving around her son. But I know Hokage-sama, but my biggest task for now is earning Hinata's trust and show her I really do care for her, and I believe I know how to do it, but it can be done only with your help, Hokage-sama, Hiashi said, begging the Hokage. End of flashback. Hiashi, you do know what you are proposing is quite dangerous to both your daughter and Naruto, and I don't like it cause I look at him as my own son, Tsunade said, not quite sure what to do as she wanted to look out for her son, but also didn't want to see the Hyuga girl in any more pain. I know Hokage-sama, but I'm confident in my ability as a diplomat and a negotiator to draw out an ironclad contract with complete protection, both Naruto and Hinata, Hiashi replied with complete confidence in his skills. Tsunade didn't like what was going to happen, but as medic she knew that Naruto needed someone from his age group to accept him, even before he knew about his tenant, though he hid it well, a skilled medic as herself could see that he was yearning for recognition from someone from his past. Alright Hiashi, I'll agree to this, but we can't force Naruto into this, my suggestion would be for Hinata herself to win over Naruto in the future, and your biggest task is to instill confidence in her and help her in her training, Tsunade said to Hiashi. The Hiashi just nodded hearing this and knew he had a lot of effort in repairing things with his daughter. Alright Hokage-sama, I'll prepare the contract and send a copy to you. After you read it, you can talk to your son about it and make him help understand, and I would like to talk to him after you have talked to him, Hiashi replied. Alright, how much time do you require for the contract to be prepared? At least a month for it to be ironclad, and I request you to talk with Hinata and explain she still does have a chance with Naruto. Alright, I'll talk with her in the morning when I come for her checkup. Arigato Hokage-sama, I'm in your debt for this. It's alright Hiashi, both of us are looking out for our children's happiness. Before we go Hokage-sama, I just have one question, Hiashi said. Tsunade raised her eyebrow at this and nodded for Hiashi to ask. Hokage-sama, why do you care so much for the boy? Tsunade was honestly surprised with the question, but when she saw Hiashi's face, she could only see curiosity. She just sighed and said. He reminds me too much of my family. With that said, Tsunade made her way to the Senju compound. Hiashi just smiled and made his way to the hospital, thinking of all the arrangements to be done in the near future. As Hiashi reached the hospital, he saw that the corridors were almost empty. He made his way towards the room his daughter was in. He opened the door and saw that Hinata was staring at the moon, with some tears falling from her eyes. It pained him to see that his daughter was in so much pain, and he was the biggest reason for it. He entered the room and said Hinata. Hinata was looked to see her father standing inside her room. She cringed upon seeing him waiting for the tongue lash that she was about to receive. Hiashi saw how Hinata cringed upon seeing his face. He resolved himself to set things right with his daughter. He got on his knees with his forehead touching the ground. Hinata, my daughter, I'm sorry for everything, please try and forgive this fool of a father of yours. Hinata was shocked to see and hear her father say those things to her, and what more shocked her was the emotion in his voice which showed regret and guilt. Otu-sama. And Suna. Temari was on her way towards the training ground where her youngest brother was training. She was happy for the first time in a long time. She was genuinely happy. Her brother was back to her, he was more sane, and he was showing more and more emotion when he would be with her. On the other hand, she was sad as she had to leave for Konoha tomorrow. Both her brothers had told her that they would travel to Konoha with her. She couldn't believe her luck. Just as she had gotten back her family, she would lose it. Her musings ended when she reached the training ground and saw her brother meditating. She went near him and stood there for him to finish. After a few minutes, Gaara looked up to see his sister standing next to him. Temari, good to see you, shall we go to the restaurant for dinner? Temari couldn't help but sigh. Even though her brother was talking more, now he was too direct than required. Hi Gaara, come on, let's go. Temari and Gaara made their way towards the restaurant where Kankuro was waiting for both them. Took you both long enough to come, Kankuro said as he saw his siblings. Kankuro was shocked when his sister had told what happened with Gaara and didn't believe her at first, but the next day when Gaara had approached him and apologized for his actions, he was shocked. As the shock wore off, he hugged his brother for just a second and told him excitedly that he would be the best brother to him and told him. The next day Kankuro had went to Gaara's room and said that as big brother he needed teach his brother about girls and had given him a little orange book as a gift. To his bad luck, his sister had arrived at the same time and saw the book and had beaten Kankuro severely for trying to corrupt her little brother. After that incident, the siblings had started to behave as normal siblings would behave. Kankuro would annoy both Gaara and Temari would beat him. For the first time the siblings felt they were real family. Kankuro, stop irritating Temari, let's go, I'm hungry, Gaara said neutrally as he went inside the restaurant. The siblings finished their dinner and Gaara made his way back to the training grounds to continue his training. Can you believe that we used to be scared of him just a month back, Kankuro asked Temari. No, I can't, but we have to thank Uzumaki Naruto for changing him, replied Temari. Yes we do, Ni-sen, I know that you aren't happy going away from us and the whole marriage thing. Yes, I'm not happy with either, but for the good of the village I have to do this. Ni-sen, I might not know too much about this, but I think you should talk with this Naruto when you reach Konoha. He seems like a nice enough guy, and if he tries anything, let's just say me and Gaara will take care of him, treaty be damned. Hearing her brother tell this made Temari more emotional. Tears of happiness formed in her eyes and she just made her way towards her home. The day had passed very quickly for Temari. She was getting nervous about leaving her brothers alone. She had packed all necessary items for her stay in Konoha. She heard a knock on her door. The door is open, come in. Baki entered the room and looked at Temari and greeted her. Heyo Temari, are you ready for the journey? Hi sensei, let's go. Temari, this is for you. Baki handed her a Chunin vest. We wanted to promote you before you leave and you deserved it, Baki said with a sad smile. Arigato sensei, this means a lot to me. Temari took the vest and sealed it within a scroll. Baki and Temari made their way towards the gates of Suna, where a group of people stood. As she came close, she could see a few of them were the council members. Temari made her way towards where her brothers were standing and greeted Kankuro with a light punch and a hug to Gaara, to which Kankuro just pouted. This was Temari's way of saying that Gaara was very special to her. Kankuro though acted as if he was disappointed. He was glad to see that Gaara got some sort of motherly affection. After the greetings were finished, the group left for Konoha. They knew this was a monumental step towards achieving a strong treaty with Konoha. For Temari, this was her journey towards a new life, a life full of surprises which could be good or bad, which she didn't know. Naruto was ecstatic as he had just finished his training on Taijutsu, and he definitely could feel that he was improving. The other reason for his happiness was that the ability of shadow clones which his father had told had been true. Currently he had created 100 clones which were divided into 4 groups, with each group practicing chakra control, some elemental ninjutsu, and calligraphy and reading books on strategy. When Naruto had met his father and after some mind-boggling revelation, Naruto decided to ask his father some training tips. His father had asked about his jutsu arsenal and was very disappointed when he heard he knew only 2 jutsu apart from the henge and kawarami. Yondaime didn't want his son to be unprepared in the shinobi world and had suggested his son to learn some elemental ninjutsu and also had told him he could use Kage Bunshin for training, except for physical exercises. By the time it was time for Minato to leave his son, he had talked about most of his experiences as a shinobi and had told that when Naruto would attempt to take control of Kyuubi's chakra, he would be able to meet his mother. When Naruto heard about his mother, he had asked about her. Minato told everything about Kushina, from her attitude and how Naruto resembled her in his brashness to the verbal tick and talking. When Naruto heard that even his mother had the same verbal tick, he felt happy. A feeling of warmth had spread across his chest and he wanted to meet her as soon as possible. That's when Minato had told him that he needed to be stronger to challenge the Kyuubi and take the Kyuubi's chakra. When Naruto got to know that his mother's clan were master at Fuinjutsu, he had decided to honor them by studying the art and make the Uzumaki name proud. After returning to Konoha, he had gone to a shinobi weapons store and had taken the chakra paper to find his affinity, and after pouring some chakra to the paper had split in half, with one part getting damp and the other part crumbled. Naruto got confused at that and tried again to get the same results. Frustrated, he finally looked at the manual and read, if it splits in half, you have wind affinity. He hadn't bothered to read the rest of the manual and made his way towards the training ground to practice his affinity. After sending some clones to retrieve some wind jutsus and books on tactics from the shinobi library, he made his way to one of the training grounds. In the starting he had problems with the jutsus. He tried to find Kakashi sensei and ask for some pointers, but wasn't able to find him. As he was searching for Kakashi, he came across Azuma and Kurenai walking hand in hand. Both the senseis saw Naruto and distanced themselves a little and asked him what he was doing. Naruto replied he was searching for Kakashi sensei and wanted to ask for some pointers for his wind jutsu. Azuma was shocked to hear that another person had the same affinity as him and asked how Naruto knew about his affinity, where Naruto lied he learned it from Jiraiya. The Jonins took the answer. As Naruto was leaving, Azuma called out and told Naruto to imagine the chakra into 2 thin blades while performing any wind jutsu and told Naruto to cut a leaf in half to get a good feel of wind chakra. Naruto nodded at this and went back to the training field and did as asked. Currently he could cut 1/3 of a leaf. As Naruto was contemplating about his training, he heard some footsteps and saw that his sister had come to see him. Hey Shizune-chan, what are you doing here? Naruto, what are you doing here? I've been looking for you, and why aren't you ready? I thought Tsunade-sama told you to be ready for today. The Suna envoy will arrive in a few hours. You need to be present with the Hokage to greet them. Hearing this, Naruto started to panic and run around screaming. What? I need to take a shower and get ready. Kachan is going to kill me. Shizune couldn't help but laugh at Naruto's antics and spoke loudly. Naruto, go home and take a shower and get ready and come near the village gate directly. I'll go and tell Tsunade-sama that you'll meet us directly near the gate. Hearing his sister's suggestion, Naruto commanded his clones to dispel in group of 10 with a 10-minute interval and ran as fast as possible towards his house. Shizune just laughed at Naruto and saw the army of clones. She was always impressed by the sheer number of Kage Bunshin he could create. As soon as he reached his home, he quickly took a shower and got ready, and out of habit, his hand reached for his favorite orange jumpsuit, but his mother's word came inside his mind and he moved away his precious jumpsuit. He put on a dark blue muscle t-shirt and some black anbu pants and his usual ninja sandals and tied his Hishiate on his forehead and made his way towards the village gate. As he reached the gate, he saw that his mother had not yet arrived and let out a breath he was holding. Phew. Saved. Kachan isn't here still. Oh, I wouldn't say that now, Nari-chan, Tsunade replied, standing behind Naruto with a sweet smile on her face. When Naruto turned his head slowly and saw that smile, a shiver went down his spine. Sachi, why aren't wearing the kimono that I bought you for such formal occasion? Ahem, Kachan, I didn't know how to wear one, so I thought I would ask your help later, and I didn't want to be late, so I came wearing this, Naruto replied, hoping his mother would buy the lie. Alright Sachi, you saved yourself this time, anyway do you remember what to say when you meet Temari? Tsunade asked Naruto. Hi, Kachan, remember them, don't worry, Naruto replied. Alright, they should be here in around 15 minutes, Tsunade said. After 10 minutes the Suna envoy reached the gates of Konoha and saw the Hokage herself standing and waiting with some members of the council. As customary, Temari had ridden in the carriage, and when they stopped in front of the Konoha gates, Temari got down from the carriage and saw the Hokage in her Hokage clothes standing regally, and next to her stood the boy she was supposed to marry. The boy had changed his attire from orange to dark clothes. Greetings and welcome to Konohagakure no Sado, I am Senju Tsunade, Godame Hokage of Konoha, and I'm most pleased to formally welcome you. She looked at Naruto to say his part, but what she saw made her chuckle, as her son was looking at Temari without blinking and with a small blush on his face. The reason for said reaction was the bride-to-be, as she was wearing a milk-white kimono with red rose petals falling around them, and the kimono hugged her body just enough to show her curves. Naruto felt someone elbowing him and turned to see his sister elbowing him with a smirk on her face. Naruto blushed a bit more and shook his head a bit to clear the blush and nervously faced Temari, nervously bowed and spoke the phrase his Kachan had hammered into his head. I welcome you Temari, my water is yours and I wish you shade and safety. Temari stared in complete shock. She had not been expecting the traditional greeting of the Tsunade groom to his bride. Snapping out of her reverie, Temari bowed in return. I greet you Naruto, I am thankful for the honor. May you always find water and may our home be blessed with shade. Temari eyed Naruto carefully. He looked a lot more serious than she remembered. He was loud and wild during the preliminaries, but now he had the presence of the warrior who defeated her brother. Everyone must be tired from the journey, why don't you all go and rest in the hotel which has been prepared for you? Tsunade said to the Suna envoy. Everyone just nodded and started to go with their escorts as Temari and her brothers were going. Temari, you can stay with Naruto as you need to get used to it. Tsunade said to Temari, to which Temari just nodded. Naruto just paled hearing what his mother had said and turned around and wanted to refuse it but saw Temari nodding and sighed. Just then he saw Gaara standing and shouted. Gaara, how are you? Gaara just looked at Naruto and let a small smile creep up his face and just nodded, saying he was fine. Gaara, why don't you come and stay with me till you leave and you can bring your brother also? Naruto asked. Gaara looked confused at this and wondered why Naruto was asking him this. Naruto looked at the confusion on the face and came near Gaara and whispered. Your sister will feel more comfortable if you both stay with her till you leave. Hearing this, Gaara nodded his consent. When Naruto told this to Tsunade and Temari were shocked but agreed with his reasoning. Everyone made their way towards their respective destination and thought about tomorrow which would reveal more secrets to them. In Konoha. The Sand siblings were completely astounded as they made their way towards Naruto's house. A month back they were attacking on this place and trying to destroy it, now one of them would have to live their life here. Temari was growing nervous thinking of the kind of treatment she would get from the general populace of Konoha. They arrived at Naruto's house, and Temari was a little impressed with it. The house was by means not a mansion, but a simple duplex. As she entered the house she saw that it was a typical boy's house, which needed a bit of woman's touch. Alright guys, let me give you a tour of the house, it won't take long. Naruto said to the siblings. The trio of sand ninja nodded to this and followed Naruto. This the ground floor, it has only living room, kitchen and a guest room, this where you guys can sleep for now, if you are not comfortable sharing a bed, then one of you has to take the couch. Before Naruto could continue, Gaara spoke. I don't need sleep, Kankuro can take the room. Kankuro wanted to argue, but stopped as he saw Gaara's face, which showed he was in no mood to argue. Fine, Kankuro replied. This where my room and Temari's room is located, Naruto said. Temari was once again surprised to hear this from the blonde. She thought they had to stay in the same room even if they weren't married. She knew they would be engaged in a few days, and couple who are politically engaged tended to stay in the same room to show the society that their relationship would be a success. Gaara and Kankuro, can you both give me and Temari some time? I need to talk with her about some things, Naruto asked in a serious tone. Both Gaara and Kankuro were surprised to hear the seriousness in the Naruto's voice and just nodded and made their way downstairs. Temari was getting nervous about this talk. She thought that she would talk with him after a few days, but she wasn't prepared to talk with him now. Temari-san, I wanted you to know that I've agreed to this marriage only for the sake of my village, and I believe even you must have agreed for the same reason, Naruto asked. Hi, I never thought that I would be used as a bargaining chip for my village, but as a kunoichi I needed to think about the safety of my village, so I agreed. Temari replied. Temari-san, before we both dive inside this relationship, I wanted you to know some things about me, Naruto said with a hint of sadness inside his voice. Temari was curious as to what the news was, as it was important enough for him to say to her now, as she didn't miss the sadness in his voice. Temari-san, I'm not well liked in the village, no, I'm downright hated by most of the village, I'm just like your brother, I have a tailed beast sealed inside of me as well, and if you marry me, you will most likely be treated in the same way as me by the villagers, I'm saying this now because I don't want you to ruin your life by getting married to me, Naruto said to Temari, with his head hung down. Temari was completely surprised by the blonde's words, no, she was not surprised by the news of him being a Jinchuriki, as she figured it out when Gaara had told her that Naruto was just like him, no, she was surprised by his pure heart. He was giving her a way out of this marriage as nobody knew about this news about him apart from Gaara, and she could bring it up with the council and cancel the whole marriage, but if she did that, will she be any different from the people who treated her brother wrongly, simply because of what was inside of him? No, this boy here had helped her brother and brought her family back to her, at the least she could do was so show him that not everybody thought of him as monster. Even if no love was possible for them in this relationship, there could be a bond of trust between them and a bond of friendship. She decided to embrace this relationship with him and try to make it work. Temari hugged Naruto fiercely and spoke to him with a few tears falling from her eyes. Naruto, I know about you, it's not hard to figure it out when my brother told me that you were like him, and I want you to know that I'm fine with it, as for not marrying you, let's just say if I say no, they will marry me off to someone else, and I don't want that, I'd rather marry someone I know. My brother speaks highly of you, you brought him back to me, and for that I'm forever in your debt. Let's try and be friends for now, we can think about other stuff later in the future. Naruto was shocked that Temari was accepting him, for now he had a new friend in his life who would accept him for whom he was. Arigato Temari-san, I'll try my best to be your friend, believe it. Naruto said to Temari with full conviction in his voice. Temari just giggled at his proclamation and thought. Definitely a better choice than the pretty Uchiha. And Naruto, none of this ant stuff, just call me by my name and I'll call you by your name. Hi Temari. Both just laughed once again and made their way towards the living room where Gaara and Kankuro were sitting. Tsunade smiled as she saw the whole event through the crystal ball in the Hokage chamber. Even though Shizune had scolded Tsunade about invading Naruto's privacy, Tsunade had said that she was doing some protective surveillance on her son. Hisachi will be fine with this girl. I just need to talk to her once, Tsunade thought to herself. Hinata was smiling as she made her way towards her clan compound. The reason for her happiness was the talk the Hokage had with her before she was released from the hospital. Flashback. Aheo Hinata. Tsunade greeted Hinata as she entered the room. Aheo Hokage-sama. Hinata greeted back. How are you doing, Hinata, feeling better? Tsunade asked. I'm alright, Hokage-sama, Hinata replied sadly. Hinata, I know the reason for your sadness, and I wish to tell you something that might help you, Tsunade said to Hinata. Hinata was curious as to what might help her as she couldn't think of anything which could help her. Hinata, what I'm about to say cannot be said outside until it's announced, if the news gets out, then Naruto's life will be in danger. Hinata was now very alert, she didn't want anything to happen to her love. Hokage-sama, whatever it is, I won't say it to anyone. Hinata, I want you to listen to me without interrupting me, alright, Tsunade said. The witch Hinata just nodded. Hinata, Naruto is from Uzumaki clan, he recently found out about it, his mother was from this clan, Naruto is the last of his clan in Konoha, and when he reaches the rank of Chunin, he will be granted clan status, I believe you can understand where this is going. Hinata was surprised by this revelation about Naruto, when she heard that he was the last of his clan she understood what was going to be said. Hinata nodded her head at Tsunade, with a light smile on her face. Hinata, since you already know about Kra, I won't explain it, but I want to make it clear to you that you have to earn your love from Naruto. Do you know the difference between you and the rest of the fangirls? Tsunade asked. Hinata just shook her head. You at least try and improve yourself by training your kunoichi skills. I'll be honest with you, the way you are right now, I don't think you will be able to win Naruto's affection, Tsunade said to Hinata honestly. Hinata's face fell once again as the Hokage just outright said that she was not worthy of Naruto's feelings. But, I know you have the will to change that, I want you to improve your confidence, skills. I want you to get Naruto to notice you for who you are, I'm willing to help you in that regard, but are you willing to improve yourself? Tsunade asked the pale-eyed beauty. Hi, Hokage-sama, for Naruto-kun I'll improve myself, Hinata replied with fierce determination shining in her eyes. Tsunade smiled at hearing this declaration and ruffled the hair on Hinata's head. Alright, then I'm going to assign you a mentor apart from Kurenai who will help you with your issues, I'm warning you for the foreseeable future you will be very busy with all your training. Hinata smiled once again and nodded her head at this. You will be released from the hospital today, you can return to your compound, but rest for a few more days before commencing training and inform your sensei about this, Tsunade said as she was leaving the room. Hinata was happy, for now she still had the chance to gain her beloved's love for her. Flashback end. Hinata entered the clan compound and made her way towards her father's study to talk to him about Hokage-sama's offer. Hinata knocked on the door and entered the study when she got the permission from her father. Otu-sama. Hinata, it's good to see you back, I hope you talked with Hokage-sama cleared everything for you, Hiashi said to Hinata with a small smile on his face. Hi Otu-sama, Lady Tsunade will be assigning a new mentor for me, along with Kurenai-sensei to train. That's good and I hope your training will be helpful for you to achieve your dream. Hiashi said to Hinata. Arigato Otu-sama, I'll try my best with that said Hinata started to move out of her father's study. Hinata before you go, come here for a minute Hiashi asked Hinata. Here pour some of your chakra into this paper, Hiashi said to Hinata as he handed her a chakra paper. Hinata did as she was asked by her father and poured some of her chakra into the paper. The paper reacted by dampening at the center and crumpling at the edges. Hiashi looked amazed while Hinata looked confused at this reaction. No wonder you were having problems with your Jaiken, I should have checked your affinity long time back. Hiashi said to Hinata. What are you saying Otu-sama? Hinata asked with confusion clear on her face. Hinata, as you know the Jaiken style is based on earth affinity with rigid katas, but your natural affinity is the opposite of that, hence you have problem with your Jaiken. Hinata's face fell with sadness at hearing this, Hiashi saw this and told her. It's not a problem Hinata, my mother also had the same problem, she created a new style of Jaiken for herself, and for anyone who had the affinity of water in the clan, I'll bring out those scrolls for you to practice from the library. Hiashi said. Hinata's face got some more hope as she now knew the problem for her inability to perform classic Jaiken, and her father's help, along with her mentor's help she could improve herself. This had to be one of the happiest days for her since her mother died. Dinner at Naruto's house had gone pretty smoothly, Temari and her brothers were impressed with Naruto's cooking skill. They all wanted to rest as they had a long day and made their way towards their respective rooms. As soon as everyone left Gaara made his way towards Naruto's room, he knocked once and entered the room and saw the blonde had already changed into his sleeping attire. Naruto saw Gaara standing near his room and invited him to his room. Uzumaki I wish to speak to you, come with me to the roof Gaara said and made his towards the roof. Naruto didn't really think much and just followed Gaara to the roof of the house. Gaara stood there watching the stars in the clear night sky. Wind blew gently in the direction of the forest which could be seen from the house. The whole scene was giving a calming effect to the Sand Jinchuriki. Hey Gaara, what is it that you wanted to talk to me about? Naruto asked Gaara as he came and stood beside him. Uzumaki, I wanted to thank you for sparing me and teaching the right way for gaining strength, Gaara said bluntly. Hey, no need for thanks and all Gaara, how could I not help you when I saw the same eyes as mine and no need to use surname and all you can call me Naruto. Naruto said a bit embarrassed. Gaara just nodded his head and continued. Naruto, I wanted to understand a bit of your pain, I'm still trying to figure out how to come out of my hate-filled past and how I can get the people of my village to acknowledge me. Naruto was surprised by this request as he still hadn't earned the acknowledgement of the entire village. Gaara, first tell me how the people of your villagers treated you and then I'll tell you my pain. In my village people were scared, they would give me a look which showed fear towards me. Whenever I went to play with children of age they would even let me near them. The sand wouldn't let anyone touch me and I didn't know what it felt like to be touched by anyone other than myself or the warmth of a mother. I recently experienced it with Temari about love and all sort of different feelings. Gaara finished. Naruto was convinced that it wasn't Gaara's fault that he had turned into homicidal maniac. Well Gaara, I can't say that my life was as bad as yours, but in some cases it was worse than yours. My life here was very bad, people refused to acknowledge my presence, they used to refer me as it, like I was some kind of thing. For the first 4 years of my life I didn't even know what my name was, only after I was thrown out from the orphanage at the age of 4 and when I was found by the Sandaime Hokage did I get to know that my name was Uzumaki Naruto. I didn't know how to read and write as no one would teach me and when I went to academy my education was sabotaged by my own senseis, to get people's attention towards me, I resorted to pulling pranks. Only after I met the Ichiraku ramen stand owner and his daughter did I have some social interaction and after some time Iruka sensei came into my life and tried his best to help me. Well your village hated you they acknowledged your presence, but my village downright neglected me, you are lucky you couldn't sleep because when I was younger, I would wake up from a nightmare and would find no one to comfort me, I would just stare at an empty apartment and cry myself to sleep again. Naruto said with tears falling from his face. Gaara still couldn't believe how this person survived and didn't become a monster like he used to be. But now I have some people who care for me as though I'm a part of their family Naruto finished with a smile on his face. Gaara, on my first mission outside the village I met a person who told me that true strength comes only when we have someone precious to protect. I wish to be strong Gaara so I can protect everyone who is precious to me. You and sister are precious to me because I consider you as one of my friend and your sister, because even after knowing about my burden, she is willing to be my friend. Naruto said as he hugged Gaara with a smile on his face. Gaara was stunned at the contact and returned the hug. He now knew his sister would be safe with Naruto. Naruto, I just wanted to tell you, Temari is like my mother to me, please don't hurt her in any way. Naruto pulled away from Gaara and smiled brightly at him and said. Gaara, I promise to keep your sister always happy and try my best not to hurt her intentionally, believe it. Gaara just nodded and sat down to look at the stars, and Naruto joined him. Unknown to them, Temari had heard their conversation, as she had seen Naruto follow Gaara to the roof. She was curious as to what the two of them would do. Temari, after hearing her brother and Naruto explain what they had to go through in their childhood, had started to cry, but when she heard her brother say he thought of her as his mother, she ran back to her room. She cried her eyes out in her room and decided to help out both her brother and her future husband to the best of her ability. She knew she had a lot to fix with the emotional scar on both of their hearts, but she would do it. She slept after a few minutes as the day's exhaustion took over her. Morning came quickly to the residence of Konoha as Temari and Naruto were already up and getting ready to meet the Hokage for the swearing-in ceremony of Temari as a Kunoichi of Konoha. Heyo Temari, want to have some breakfast? Naruto greeted Temari as she came down from her room. Hi Naruto, so what have you prepared for breakfast? Temari asked as she made her way towards the dining table. Eggs and bacon, nothing special, Naruto replied as he served her some of the breakfast. Temari smiled at this gesture and ate them. She was still surprised as he clearly was a better cook than her. You really are a wonderful cook, Naruto. I'm really a lucky girl, Temari teased Naruto. Naruto just blushed at the praise he received and scratched the back of his neck. They both finished their breakfast in relative silence as they both finished and made their way towards the Hokage Tower. Temari, where are your brothers? Naruto asked. Oh, they both left to meet with Baki-sensei and the other members of the Suna envoy. Oh, alright, so do you have anything in mind to do after the swearing ceremony? Naruto asked Temari. Nothing much, why do you ask? Temari asked. Oh, I thought you might want to get a tour of the village, Naruto told Temari. Temari was once again pleasantly surprised by Naruto's offer. Okay Naruto, after we finish the swearing-in ceremony you can take me on the tour of the village. Temari said happily. Naruto was happy to see Temari reacting positively to his efforts to get to know one another. Naruto and Temari made their way towards the Hokage Tower and entered the chamber to see all the important parties present in the chamber. Since everyone has come, we shall start the proceedings, Tsunade said to everyone in the chamber. Temari, come forward and repeat after me. Temari came forward and repeated all the vows said by Tsunade. After the ceremony was completed, Temari was given a Konoha hide and Chunin flak jacket. All the members of the Suna envoy soon left after finalizing the marriage contract, which would be activated when Temari reached the age of 16. Naruto, go outside and wait for Temari, I need to talk with her about some important matters, Tsunade said to Naruto. Naruto saw the seriousness in his mother's face and made his way outside the room and waited for Temari. So what is it you wish to talk with me, Hokage-sama? Temari asked Tsunade. I have a lot of things to discuss, but the most important thing to discuss would be about his clan and his inclusion in Konoha. Temari made her way into the streets of Konoha with a determined expression on her face. As she walked, she remembered all the things she heard from Tsunade, especially the reason for Kra. Although she had to agree with the logic and the circumstances surrounding her future husband, she just wasn't comfortable with the idea. She couldn't help but sigh thinking about the past few months of her life. It was like a roller coaster with more downs than ups. Firstly, her village had attacked their ally and had been soundly defeated. Her brother had some sense knocked into him, and next, she was thrown into a political marriage, but was saved from becoming a breeding machine to the Uchiha clan. And lastly, her soon-to-be husband was last of two powerful clans, and he had to have several wives to rebuild his clan. She just couldn't digest the news. Her husband had left the message that he would be at home. She decided that she would go home and rest and made her way towards the house. As she reached the house, she found Naruto sitting on the floor with number of scrolls opened. He was studying a scroll with the kanji for Futen. Are those scrolls for wind jutsus? Temari asked. Naruto turned around to see Temari and replied. Yes, I just found out that I have a wind affinity and was reading to train in it. That's amazing, even I have wind affinity, it's good to see someone with the same affinity as mine. Temari said happily with a smile on her face. What? I thought that there would be tons of wind users in Suna, since it is called Land of Wind. Naruto asked Temari. Temari looked annoyed at the statement Naruto made. That's a common misconception. The most common element in our village is Doton. After Iwa we have the most number of Doton users. Temari said. Naruto just nodded at that and gestured for Temari to join him. Seeing him call out to her, she went beside him and looked over the scrolls. She was impressed by the arsenal of jutsus, but all of them were below B rank. At that a thought came to her. "Naruto, how good are you with wind jutsus?" Temari asked. Naruto just stared at her and took a thinking pose and replied. "I don't know, to be honest. I don't know any wind users in our village, and I don't think they would teach me," Naruto said with a hint of sadness in his voice. "Naruto, it's okay, no need to be saddened by it. I'm a wind user, and if it's alright I could show you some control exercises," Temari said as she placed a hand on the blonde's shoulder. Naruto's face brightened as soon as hearing this, and he gave Temari a sweet smile, which also made Temari smile, seeing the genuine happiness on his face. "So let's see how strong is your affinity so we can know how to start the training." "Oh okay, let me get those chakra papers and see once again." Naruto went inside his room and brought a few chakra papers to show Temari. Naruto molded his chakra and sent it to the paper. The reaction was immediate as the paper split in half with one half crumbled and the other half got sogged. Temari's eyes bulged out of her socket as she saw the chakra paper. She had heard people having 2 affinities, but most of them were Kage Genkai users, but she had never seen anyone with 3 natural affinities with equal amount of power. "Temari, is something wrong? Why are you looking like that?" Naruto asked. Naruto's voice broke Temari out of her shock. She just shook her head and asked. "Naruto, why didn't you tell that you had 3 affinities?" "Ah, what do you mean 3 affinities? I thought I only had wind affinity," Naruto asked with clear confusion on his face. "Tell me who was present when you checked your affinity the first time?" Temari asked, doubting that someone didn't tell Naruto purposely to sabotage him. "I was alone when I did that. I read the manual, it said that if the paper splits in half you have wind nature, and I didn't bother to read any further," Naruto said with an embarrassed look on his face. Temari face-palmed hearing this, still replied. "Naruto, you have 3 affinities, wind, water and earth respectively with equal strength." Naruto got really excited hearing this and started to shout. "Yada, am I awesome?" Temari just smiled seeing her husband so excited. "Naruto, not to rain on your celebration, but you really have to work hard since you have to train for all the affinities equally." Naruto stopped his awesomeness ranting and looked at Temari. After hearing Temari's words, he just smiled again and gave her a look which said, "I know what to do." "Don't worry Temari, I know what to do to improve my training." "Alright Naruto, how about we spar once? I want to see where I stand against you, that way we both can help each other." "Hi, that's a good idea. Come on, we can use one of the training ground in Senju compound," Naruto said as he made his way towards the Senju compound and Temari just followed him. Both of them reached the training ground. Temari was impressed seeing the state of the training ground. The whole terrain was basically made in a way to help Konoha shinobi to adjust to other terrains when locked in battle. "Wow, this training ground is very well maintained," Temari said to Naruto who was stretching and warming up. "Yeah, Kachan told me that her Bachan placed some seals throughout the Senju compound, which automatically keeps the whole compound well maintained. One just has to add chakra at regular intervals," Naruto replied without stopping his stretches. "Kachan. Naruto, you didn't tell me that your mother was a Senju?" Temari asked. "Ah, no Temari, my mother isn't a Senju. I call Tsunade as my Kachan. I feel that she is like my mother in all but blood." Temari smiled inwardly knowing at least Naruto had someone whom he can depend. "Oh alright, if you're finished with warming up let's begin, I can't wait to wipe the floor with you," Temari said with a smirk on her face. Naruto gave a smirk of his own and got into his stance, and the spar began. After half an hour of sparring both the blondes were on their knees panting trying to catch their breath. "I must say Naruto, you really are very strong with the Jutsu Are Snell you have right now, and I wasn't even able to predict what would be your next move," Temari said to Naruto. Naruto just smiled hearing the praise which he got from Temari. "Even you were awesome Temari-chan, I had no idea that your battle fan could be used to make such massive damage. I'm kinda lucky that you missed when you used them on me," Naruto said smiling. Temari was happy that he didn't admonish her skills or went easy on her because of her gender, and she didn't miss the affectionate suffix he used along with her name. "Oh, I'm Temari-chan now. I didn't think you would be so bold Naruto," Temari asked teasingly. Naruto just blushed at the teasing and tried to sputter out some nonsense but failed miserably. "Oh don't worry Naruto, I was just teasing you. I talked to the Hokage and she told me some things about you and I understand how you feel about relations and friendship," Temari said with a light smile on her face. Naruto just sighed in relief and got back up and sat next to Temari. "Hey Temari-chan, mind if I ask you some question?" "Sure. Why did your village choose me as the groom instead of Uchiha?" Temari wasn't surprised by this question as she had already been asked the same question by Tsunade and Shizune during their meeting. "The council really wanted me to marry the Uchiha, but Gaara stormed inside the meeting hall and pretty much threatened that if I was to marry anyone, it would be you and no one else." "Oh, I never knew Gaara thought so highly of me, I just hope I can keep you happy," Naruto replied with a nervous tone. Naruto, I don't know a lot about you, but from what the Hokage told me I know that we can make this relationship work. If you don't mind, can you tell me a bit more about yourself? Temari asked. What do you want to know about me and why? Naruto asked. I know this might sound a bit weird, but I want to help you in any way possible for bringing my brother back to me. Temari said with a sincere smile on her face. Hey, you don't need to say things like that. I helped Gaara because he reminded me of myself a few years back and I couldn't bear to see the pain in his eyes. Naruto replied. Okay, stop changing the subject and tell me a bit about you, Temari asked. After hearing her, Naruto told her all his hardships from his time in orphanage and living alone in an apartment at the age 6, he did leave out the more mind-numbing details such as his thoughts of suicide. That's pretty much it. My life till now hasn't had any prolonged happy days, only brief moments of happiness. He finished and turned towards Temari to see her. Temari was crying. She had told herself that she wouldn't cry after hearing her brother and Naruto talk last night, but she couldn't control the tears as she heard his story and seeing the emotions play out on his face. When she saw Naruto looking at her, she hugged him fiercely. Naruto tensed slightly at the sudden contact, but after a few hugged her back a bit hesitantly. It's Naruto, you don't need to be alone anymore, I'll always be there for you, I won't let any harm come to you from today, you'll have a friend who'll protect you no matter what. Naruto smiled. He knew somehow that Temari meant what she said. He felt a bit more hope in his life, a bit more of hope for happiness. She had said she would be his friend and that was more than enough for him now. Arigato, Temari. Temari literally could feel the emotions in his voice and she was happy that what Tsunade said was true. Flashback. So what is that you wish to talk with me, Hokage-sama? Temari asked Tsunade. I have a lot of things to discuss with you, but the most important thing to discuss would be about Naruto and his clan and his inclusion in Konoha. What? Naruto is from a clan? Temari shouted in shock. Let me finish telling you all that you are required to know. Naruto, you can ask questions later, alright? Getting a nod from Temari to continue, Tsunade said. Temari, I hope you know of the Uzumaki clan from Yuzu, the village which was destroyed during the Second Shinobi War. Naruto is the only living member of the head branch of the Uzumaki clan, so in short he is the heir to the Uzumaki clan and Yuzu. Temari didn't know what to feel now. She would be married into the Uzumaki clan and she had read about the clan and knew the fearsome reputation they had garnered during their reign. She had read the supremacy they held in the field of Fuinjutsu and Kinjutsu. I thought that all the Uzumakis had red hair. Temari asked. You do know your history well, Temari. Yes, Uzumaki were known for their red hair, but my Gaki here inherited his hair from his father. Tsunade replied. So you know about his parents. Does Naruto know about his parents? Yes, Temari, Naruto knows about his parents and his lineage, but can't tell you who they are. Only Naruto can tell you who they are. Don't pressure him to tell you, he'll tell you when he feels he can trust you. Oh, okay, I'll wait for him to tell me. So is this the reason that he will be included in Konoha? Temari asked. Yes, that is one of the reasons. To be honest, he is literally heir to 2 clans, but I can't tell you the name of the other clan for security reasons and threat to you and the village if it got public. Temari now was literally shocked. Her husband was heir to 2 clans and the other clan could not even be named because of threat to her and Naruto and the village. Okay, I'm curious to know about this clan and I understand the reason for Konoha. Is there any other thing I need to know? Yes, to be honest, I wanted the Gaki to be married at least a few years later with a girl he loved, but when I came back to the village, I knew that the Gaki would not have anyone to love to because of his tenant and the hate the villagers have passed down to their children. Temari could understand what Tsunade meant. It would be the same case for her brother and Suna. She hoped that some girl would come in her brother's life and help him. But when I saw your village's proposal, I got a slight hope that Naruto might get a chance at love in the future, and just when I thought that all would be good, I got another shock. What do you mean, Hokage-sama? Tsunade then proceeded to tell about Hinata and the whole situation. So what I'm planning to do is have both you and Hinata train under a single jonin. The particular jonin will be helpful for both you and Hinata. This way you can know Hinata a bit better and help her. Why would I want to help her? Temari asked angrily. Because if you don't, it won't be helpful for you or the clan in the long run. Don't think about the present situation, think about the future. You're going to be a clan matriarch, you should think about the best for your clan. Tsunade said sternly. This hit Temari like a ton of bricks. She didn't even think about the position she would get in the future. Seeing the overwhelmed expression on Temari's face, Tsunade said, don't worry, it's still a long way away, think about this, alright? Temari, here, have some tea, it will calm you a bit. I still need to talk to you about a few more things. Temari sipped the tea given to her and it did calm her a bit. She asked Tsunade to continue. What I'm about to say is very important. It is in regard with Naruto's mental health. Naruto has some serious trust issues and is a bit weary regarding physical contact. Why is that, Hokage-sama? It's because as child he wasn't given any form of physical attention a child needs. As a child the only physical contact he had was from the Sandaime Hokage, and that too happened rarely. A child needs some form of physical contact to feel a sense of security and to trust any other person. Even your brother from what I heard will have some of these issues, and as for Naruto, he doesn't understand some of the social concepts of society. That's one of the reasons why he is so obnoxious when he talks with some stranger. So don't expect him to be a perfect gentleman or know most of the things which happen in the society. Hi Hokage-sama, I'll keep that in mind. Temari, before I let you go, I wanted to tell you these things about Naruto, because as a woman, I know that a man cannot be complete without a woman in his life. Only we women have the power to give the men a sense of peace in their life, either as a mother or sister or wife or just a friend. I know love is rather difficult in arranged marriage, but I want you to help Naruto as a friend. Temari was a bit awed by the statement when Tsunade talked about women. Hi Hokage-sama, I'll help him. Arigato Temari. Tsunade replied with a smile. End of flashback. So Naruto, it's almost time for dinner, how about we go out for dinner today? Temari asked, removing herself from the embrace. Hi, we can go and get some ramen, and if you want we can ask your brothers to join us. No, we'll have dinner with them some other time, I want to go out with you. I haven't seen the village, you can show me after we finish dinner. Sure, whatever you say. Come on, let's go home first, I need a shower from all the sparring. Naruto nodded and both made their way towards the house. After taking a shower both made their way towards Ichiraku Ramen. Hey Tuchi Jiji, how are you? Naruto said, entering the ramen stand with a broad smile on his face. Oh hey Naruto, how are you, haven't seen you in the past few days. Tuchi said without even looking at Naruto, already preparing Naruto's ramen. Oh hey Naruto, how are you? And I see you've got a date with you. AM teased as she came near the counter to greet him. Naruto blushed at hearing that he was on a date with Temari. I'm fine AM, this is Temari and she's not my date, as she is. Seeing Naruto's hesitancy, Temari took it upon herself to introduce herself. I'm Naruto's fiancé, Temari said in straight voice. What? Shouted AM, and sound of utensils being dropped was heard from the kitchen. Yeah, I and Temari kinda got roped into this arranged marriage because of the alliance. Naruto replied, embarrassed, scratching the back of his neck. Oh, so you are the bride that everyone is talking about in Konoha. AM told Temari. Temari just shrugged, hearing the news of her presence already floating in Konoha. I'm happy for both of you, so today the first 3 bowls of ramen is on the house. AM said happily. Free ramen. Thank you AM, Naruto shouted, hearing AM. PSST Temari, come here, AM called Temari to her side of the counter. Naruto is like a brother to me, please don't hurt him. He's already had enough from the stupid villagers. I won't hurt him AM-san, no need to worry. Temari whispered. Temari was surprised how good the ramen was here at Ichiraku, but was horrified and awed by the amount of ramen Naruto could eat. Does he always eat this much? Temari asked AM. Yeah, he really like ramen a lot, we know too much of it isn't good for him, so my O2-sen add some nutritious herbs and vegetables. Temari just nodded, hearing this, and finished her bowl. They both left the ramen stand after an awesome dinner in Naruto's word to see Konoha. Temari made her way towards training ground 44 with hesitant steps. She still remembered the dark aura that surrounded the forest when she had taken part in the second part of the Chunin exams. As she neared the fence, she suddenly remembered her soon-to-husband's antics when the Jonin had been explaining the rules and giggled to herself. Her friend or soon-to-be husband was loud and obnoxious back then, but undeniably cute. Temari's face heated up a few shades of red. She cursed herself for thinking in that way about Naruto. She sighed and went near the wooden cabin and stood waiting for her Jonin instructor to arrive. As she stood waiting, suddenly a shuriken flew past her and scratched her cheek, drawing a bit of blood, when Temari turned to see the attacker with a defensive stance. But the attacker jumped from the tree and landed in front of Temari. Temari was in a predicament, she had never met any women like the one standing in front of her. The said women could only be described as a sadist or a very sexy woman. She wore revealing outfits and had quite an eccentric character and some form of fetish for blood, as she remembered the same type of greeting Naruto had received. Temari was happy when she heard from the Hokage that she would be apprenticed under a Jonin named Mitarashi Anko. She had known about the said Jonin through the bingo book and also the data gathered during the invasion, but for the life of her, she couldn't have believed that such a powerful kunoichi was this weird. The said Jonin was staring at her new apprentice with a glee in her eyes. She knew the order from the Hokage was to train Temari as well as Hinata and make sure both her students spend enough time with each other to feel comfortable around the other. So you are Temari, the desert princess, now come on, tell me more about yourself. Anko said, enjoying the scowl that appeared on Temari's face as she heard the nickname. Sensei, what do you want to know? Can you give me demonstration of yourself? Anko was impressed she didn't give info about herself, rather asked to disclose information about her. My name is Mitarashi Anko. I'm a jonin of Konoha. I'm a torture and interrogation specialist. I like dango and tea parties, and my dream is to kill a certain man, after which I can settle down happily with a man. Anko said with a faraway look on her face. Temari was clearly surprised by the choice of words Anko had chosen and had her jaws dropped when she said that she liked tea parties. She just chuckled herself once imagining Anko in a kimono. Anko glared at Temari as she heard the chuckle. Now it's your turn, Desert Princess. My name is Sabaku no Temari. Temari replied, irritated at the nickname. I was formerly a chunin of Suna, but now I'm a shinobi of Konoha. I like training, taking care of my battle fan and knitting dolls. Anko snorted hearing about her knitting dolls, while Temari glared at Anko and continued. My dream is old dream has come true for now. My new dream is to help two important people of my life to achieve their dreams. Temari said as she remembered the faces of Gaara and Naruto. Alright Temari, now that we know about each other, you need to know your duties as my apprentice. You will earn some new skills along with refining your original skills, though you might dragged along with me help out the genins I'll be helping teaching. Temari was a bit miffed at the prospect of helping and training genins, but she knew as she would gain a lot with the training she would receive from the eccentric jonin. Hi Nanko-sensei, so what will you be teaching me first? As soon as she let the words out, Temari saw a sadistic smile across her sensei's face. Firstly, I want check your level in stamina, endurance, evasion and ninjutsu, so prepare yourself to defend. Anko said as she summoned two snakes and started to attack Temari by throwing kunais and engaging Temari into jutsu. Temari just paled and started to run seeing the incoming attack. After half an hour intense chase, kunai throwing, cheap shots and some bite marks, the session was over. Temari was glad that was over as she slumped to the ground, sweat pouring down her face. Not bad, Desert Princess, you are definitely a chunin material in overall skills, but you lack versatility in your attacks, and you need to stop relying on your battle fan all the time you want to attack, and you definitely need to improve your stamina. Temari was glaring at the jonin, showing her irritation and discomfort at the surprise attack and the nickname, but was satisfied internally to last this long against a jonin of Anko's level, and noted all the point Anko had given her to improve her skills further. Hi sensei, I'll do my best to improve my skills, said Temari with fierce determination. That's good, rest and take the day off, you have your engagement to prepare for tomorrow. At the mention of engagement, Temari groaned and remembered that she had to go meet her brothers and the Suna envoy. Temari reached Naruto's home and had a shower and made her way towards the guest houses where her sensei and brothers were residing. As she reached the guest house, she was greeted to the sight of her youngest brother coming out of the house. Hey Gaara, Temari called Gaara. Gaara watched as his sister called him, he greeted her with a nod. Where are you going and where is Kankuro? Temari asked. He went with Baki-sensei to make preparation for the engagement tomorrow, and I'm on my way to have some lunch. Gaara answered in a neutral tone. Oh okay, so how about I join you for lunch, and if you are free we can go and get some things which I need for tomorrow? Temari asked. Okay, let's go. Gaara replied as he started to walk towards Market District. Gaara found himself at a small ramen stand when he had let Temari choose where to eat. Welcome Temari-san, it's nice to see you once again at our stand. AM greeted as entered the stand. It's good to see you too. I really liked the ramen last time and wanted to introduce my brother to the so-called food of gods that Naruto claims. Temari giggled as she said the last part. AM also giggled hearing this. Gaara perked up hearing about this. Oh, where are my manners? He is Gaara, my youngest brother, and Gaara, this is AM, owner of this ramen stand and Naruto's sister in all but blood. Temari introduced both of them. It's a pleasure meeting you, Gaara-san, but I would like to correct, I'm the daughter of the owner of this ramen stand. AM said to Gaara. It's my pleasure to meet you, AM-san. Gaara replied without any hint of emotion in his voice. So what can I get for the both of you? I'll have a bowl of pork ramen, Temari replied. I would like a bowl of miso ramen, Gaara answered. Okay, I'll get your order in a minute, AM said as she made her way into the kitchen. Temari, how do you know this place? Gaara asked. Naruto brought me here last night to have dinner and introduced me to them, Temari answered truthfully. Gaara nodded hearing this and waited for the food to arrive. AM brought the ramen and served them. Both Gaara and Temari ate the ramen in silence as Temari and Gaara finished their meal and made their way towards the shopping district of Konoha. Hiashi sat in his office contemplating on all the events that had been going on. He sighed, thinking about the mistakes that he had done regarding Hinata. He knew even though his daughter had told that she forgave him, he couldn't accept it, he had to make it up to her. With the training scrolls that he gave her, he knew he had taken the first step towards repairing the relation between him and his daughter. Hiashi-sama, Mitarashi-san is seeking an audience with you. A branch Hyuga informed the clan head. I'll be there momentarily. Hiashi replied. As the branch house member left, Hiashi sighed again thinking of the effects the bold Kunoichi could have on his daughter. Hiashi made his towards the guest room where he was greeted to the side of a blushing Hyuga member and Anko stretching her body. Hiashi cleared his throat and got the attention of both the occupants of the room. "Here you are dismissed." Hiashi dismissed the branch Hyuga. "I would really appreciate it if you would stop teasing the members of our clan whenever you see them, Mitarashi-san," Hiashi said with a bit of humor in his voice. Anko just snorted at this and replied and missed the chance of seeing the stoic Hyuga mask waver and break. "But lol, joking aside, I believe the Hokage-sama has informed you the situation." "Yeah, but I can't see any profit coming out of this. I think it's too late." "Let's not ponder if it's too late or not. Please help my daughter with her confidence, that is all request of you," Hiashi said in a voice that had a hint of plea. Anko was taken aback by the emotion in the clan head's voice. She sighed and nodded her head. "Alright, call the princess, I'll take her out and see what I can help her with and how much work it will take. Stay here, Mitarashi-san, I shall retrieve my daughter in a few minutes." Hiashi made his way towards his daughter's room and knocked once. "The door is open and please come in," and Hinata answered the knock. Hiashi entered the room to see his daughter press some new flowers in her book. "Hinata, your new mentor is here to pick you up, get ready and come to the guest room." "Hyo-otu-sama," Hinata replied meekly. As Hiashi left the room, Hinata got up to get ready to greet her new mentor. As she was getting ready, she pondered who might her new mentor be and how she might help her. Hinata made her way to the guest room and entered the room to see her father conversing with the proctor of second part of the Chunin exam. Hinata, this is your new mentor Mitarashi Anko. She will be working with you in certain aspects of training from time to time," Hiashi introduced. "It's an honor to meet you, Anko-sensei." Hinata bowed and said nervously. Anko couldn't help but frown at the tone used by the kunoichi in front her. "Same here, princess, but you need to stop being so nervous. I'm not going to bite you, that's my summon's job," Anko replied coolly. Both Hinata and Hiashi paled at hearing this before Hiashi could protest about the news Anko had left with Hinata via Shushin. Hiashi once again sighed, thinking about the type of training her daughter would go through as he made his way back to his study. "Hiashi-sama, you have received a letter from the Hokage's office," Hiro said. Hiashi entered the study and opened the letter and sighed once again. Inside the letter. "Honored clan heads. You and your family have been invited to attend the engagement of one Uzumaki Naruto and Sabaku no Temari tomorrow at 11 in the morning at the Hokage Tower." Hiashi knew all the clan heads would attend and he needed to take Hinata, Hanabi and Niji with him. The next few months were going to be troublesome, as the Nara clan head would have said. The sun had started to rise and was starting to wake up the people of Konoha. The day held a promise of some peace between two villages, for today was the day that the treaty between Konoha and Suna would be officially signed, and today was the day the lives of two shinobi would forever be linked together for the rest of their lives. The said shinobi couples were sleeping peacefully in their house and dreaming about their respective obsessions, that is, one was dreaming about owning battle fans of different size and shapes with a huge collection of knitted dolls, whereas the other was dreaming about a lifetime supply of free ramen from Ichiraku's and a swimming pool filled with ramen. Just before they could indulge a bit more in their dreams, they were disturbed by the loud knock on the main door. Temari woke up cursing the one who disturbed her sleep and made her way to answer the door. As she came down and near the door, she could see that Naruto had already beat her there and was talking with Shizune. As she neared, she could pick up some of the conversation that was going on. "Ni-chan, why do I have to go shopping this early in the morning?" "Because it's your engagement and you need to pick out a ring for Temari and I'm here to help you." "But I don't want to spend time doing that when I could be training." "Naruto, don't be so difficult, just get ready and we'll go and finish this soon, or do you prefer having Tsunade-sama accompany you?" Just hearing his Kachan's name, Naruto paled, remembering his last shopping experience with his mother when they went to pick new wardrobe for him. He ran to his room, shouting he'll be ready in 5 minutes. "Aheyo Shizune-san," Temari greeted. "Aheyo Temari-san, sorry for disturbing you, but I needed to take Naruto out for some shopping and inform you that the engagement will take place in the Hokage Tower at 11. "Arigato Shizune-san, I'll be there with my brothers." "Temari-san, aren't your brothers staying with you? I haven't seen them for the past couple of days." "No, they are staying at the guest house along with my sensei, saying that they will just get in the way of me and Naruto bonding with each other." Temari shrugged. Not a second late, Naruto came rushing towards Shizune wearing a black t-shirt and brown shorts. He stopped seeing Temari talking with Shizune. "Temari-chan, I have to go shopping with Ni-chan, would you be fine coming alone to the Hokage Tower alone?" "Temari-chan, nice, at least there is still some hope for both of them," thought Shizune. "It's fine, Naruto, I won't be coming to the tower alone, my sensei and brothers will accompany me," Temari replied. "Okay then, Ni-chan, let's go." Naruto and Shizune made their way out of the house towards the marketing district. Temari looked once again at the watch and it showed the time as 8:30. She decided to get ready and go the guest house where her brothers were staying. Tsunade was humming happily as she made her way towards the Hokage Tower. She couldn't wait for her son's engagement ceremony. Not many people knew, but Tsunade enjoyed planning these kind of events and shopping. Tsunade had sent the invitation for all the clan heads and the Naruto's classmates to attend the engagement, and she also planned on rearranging the teams to improve the genin skill level. She reached the tower and sent summons to all the Jonin senseis of Konoha 12, along with a few more Jonins. 20 minutes later all the required Jonins came to the office and waited for the Hokage to start. I have called you here to announce that I'm reshuffling the current rookie teams along with Team Guy. As you all know, the current batch of Genins are some of the best Genins we've had, but the current batch also holds some subpar Genin compared to our village's standard. The results of the Chunin exams are more than proof of that. There wasn't a single Kunoichi of our village in the finals. I saw the match feeds of the preliminary matches, and I was very disappointed in the skill level of our Kunoichi. Tsunade continued as she addressed the Jonins present. Hokage-sama, not all of them are subpar, some are highly skilled. Kurenai said to the Hokage. I know what you are referring to and I will agree some are skilled, but the problem is they are skilled in one particular shinobi art or none at all. Shinobi or kunoichi need to be adaptable to the changes in the situations around them. None of the kunoichi showed that skill. The Jonin senseis winced at the remark as they knew the Hokage was right. Neither of the team's kunoichi had a roundabout skill. So seeing this, I have decided to change the formations of the team and also assign some additional senseis to the teams. The Jonins present there were shocked with this news. It was a blow to their pride as their team sensei. What I'm doing is for the benefit of your students and I'm not criticizing your teaching capabilities. The new teams will be as follows. Team 7 will now have Uchiha Sasuke, Higurashi Tenten and Nara Shikamaru. Team 8 will have Hyuga Hinata, Aburame Shino and Uzumaki Naruto, and before you argue, I'll explain why the team formation has been done in this way at the end of the announcement. Tsunade said, hearing the gasp and seeing the signs of protest from Kakashi. Team 9 will have Inuzuka Kiba, Yamanaka Ino and Hyuga Nichi. Team 10 will have Akamichi Choji, Haruno Sakura and Rock Lee. As for the new senseis. Team 7 will have Hada Kakashi and Genma. Team 8 will have Yuhi Kurenai and Midarashi Anko. Team 9 will have Saratobi Asuma and Yuzuki Yugao. Team 10 will have Guy and Yamato. Now any of you have anything to say, please speak and clear it now. Tsunade said and waited for anyone to speak. Hokage-sama, I would like you to reconsider your opinion on shifting Naruto from the current team to Team 8. He's a mid to close range fighter and more importantly an ninjutsu specialist, which is a talent I can bring out best. Kakashi stated. You do make a god point, Kakashi, but please inform me what all ninjutsu you have taught him and brought out the particular talent in him. Tsunade questioned with a serious expression. Kakashi flinched at this and tried to give his explanation. Hokage-sama, I still haven't had the time to teach him anything other than tree walking to improve his chakra control. The other Jonins were shocked from the news that Kakashi only had taught tree climbing exercise to Naruto and let him enter the Chunin exams. No time, you say? What about the month-long period during the Chunin exams? And I know for a fact you didn't help him when he asked for you, since you were busy teaching the Uchiha and left him with an instructor. Swan said with an unnatural calmness in her voice. Hokage-sama, Sasuke needed the extra training as he was facing Gaara. Kakashi justified his choice. Oh, how did that work out for him and who was the one who defeated Gaara? Tsunade shot back. Kakashi stood silently as he was caught off guard. I'll tell you the reason why I have rearranged the teams like it is. For Team 7 Uchiha Sasuke is obvious. I've included Tenten because she only has skills in weapons but needs to learn more in ninjutsu and jinjutsu where Kakashi can help them both and Genma can help her in tactics and assassination skills and Shikamaru is included as he can support them from long range and this gives him more scope to learn other type of ninjutsu apart from his clan jutsus. Hearing this, all the Jonins nodded, seeing the logic of such a team. For Team 8, Uzumaki Naruto as his skills in Jinjutsu is nil, which can be helped by Kurenai, and Anko can help him in his ninjutsu and taijutsu. Aburame Shino same as Naruto, only he will have more of Anko's help in dodging as his clan style need him to be stationary while attacking his opponents. As for Hinata, she needs some other skills apart from her Jaiken, as some long-range fighters might be able to defeat her, hence Anko will be helpful for her by teaching dodging and poisons as Hinata has shown great skill in helling salves and Kurenai is already working with her and knows her best. It will be helpful for all the members to expand their skills in different fields. Kurenai just smiled hearing the reason. Even though she was sad at losing Kiba from her team, she understood the Hokage's reasoning. The same goes for Team 9 with Asuma can teach ninjutsu and tactics to the team and Yugao can help Ino to improve her skills, and for Kiba, he will lose his brashness and learn some tactics by competing with Niji and Niji. The same case as Hinata needs more skills apart from Jaiken. Team 10 will have Guy who will help the team by increasing their skill level in taijutsu as Sakura doesn't have a defined style and Choji relies heavily on his clan's technique, and Yamato will help their overall skill development in ninjutsu and tactics. Rock Lee is apprenticed under Guy. Tsunade finished. Okage-sama, I wish to know why the recommendation for the promotion of Nara Shikamaru to Chunin was not considered. Asked Asuma. Tsunade looked impassive hearing this. I saw the recommendation of all the jonins and the match feed, but I could only see his brains working there. He didn't show any more of his other skills required in a battle. You cannot win with only your brain, you need more than just statics. Agreed, a leader needs to have a level head during mission, but is also required to demonstrate his team that he is worthy of leading them. Asuma shook his head and replied, Hokage-sama, with his analytical skills, he can easily lead a team and successfully bring back the squad alive. Tsunade just sighed and continued. Yes, he can bring a squad back alive, but what will happen when the mission can't be abandoned and his team is overwhelmed by opponents? If he doesn't have the necessary skills to fight the opponent, a member from the squad is required to protect him all the time to buy time for him to come up with a tactic, which can prove to be quite a handicap for the rest of the squad, so I haven't given him the promotion. Asuma conceded hearing the reasoning. Tsunade dismissed the jonins and got ready to make her way to the hall to attend her son's engagement. Kurenai held a happy smile on her face as she was making her way back to her house. She was blocked by an equally happy Anko, who was smiling like she had won a free pass for an all-you-can-eat dango. So Kurenai, you happy with the changes made by the Hokage-sama to your squad? Asked Anko. Hi Anko, Hinata and Shino, I know most of their skills, it's just that it will take some time to integrate Naruto into the team and bring a sense of team dynamics. Replied Kurenai. Don't worry, I will make sure the Gaki has no problems with the new team since his soon-to-be wife is apprenticed under me and will be helping the team from time to time, Anko said gleefully. It just creates new problem to our team. What do you mean? Asked a confused Anko. Hinata, replied Kurenai in a sad tone. Anko just smiled remembering the girl's introduction yesterday and how much work was to be done to help the girl. Oh, don't worry about it. I'll make everything go smoothly with our team. Anko replied as she smirked and thought about all the fun she could have teasing the trio. Come on, let's go and get some dango, shouted Anko as she ran towards the nearest dango shop. Kurenai sighed as she imagined having both Naruto and Anko to work together. She just sighed and followed her friend towards the dango shop. Hokage Tower. It was around 10:30 as Naruto came to the tower along with Shizune. His shopping session had passed pleasantly as his sister had helped him buy the necessary clothes, and for the ring it was pre-ordered and was retrieved today. When Naruto entered the Hokage chamber, he was greeted to the sight of his mother grabbed in official Hokage robes with the white coat with red flames. He could see the irritation on his mother's face as she didn't like wearing the official robes. Hey Koch, and you look really nice in these robes, Naruto said loudly to his mother's irritation. Tsunade turned to see her son and a smile appeared on her face, seeing him wear the kimono which she had bought him, and to her he looked handsome. Even my little male Storm looks very handsome in his kimono. Tsunade said, giving Naruto a hug, she straightening his kimono at a few places and tried to flatten his spiky hair with her hand. Naruto just blushed at the compliment and scratched the back of his neck in embarrassment. Naruto was wearing an ocean blue kimono with Uzumaki spirals on them, along with the Senju symbol on his left arm. So is the ceremony going to take place here, questioned Naruto. No, come on, I will show you the way to the ceremony hall. Said Tsunade as she made her way towards the hall. As they were going, Tsunade asked, so did you buy all the required things? Hi, Nichan helped me buy all the necessary items and I sealed them inside the scroll. As the trio entered the ceremony hall, they could see all the required parties were already present. Inside the hall were all the clan heads of Konoha and the elders of Konoha. On the other side of the hall were the Suna envoy, along with Temari and her brothers. Naruto once again blushed, let out a small chuckle, seeing Naruto's reaction to Temari, while Tsunade just shook her head. Temari was wearing a black kimono with silver lightning linings near her legs. The kimono hugged her figure tightly, and it showed of all the natural curves she possessed. When Temari saw Naruto gawking at her, she couldn't help as a small blush crept over her face. The Hokage, Shizune and Naruto made their way towards the stage which set for them. Once Naruto came up the stage, soon Temari followed him onto the stage along with Tsunade. Tsunade cleared her throat once to get attention of everyone present in the room. Once everyone's attention was gained, she asked both Naruto and Temari to give each other rings, officially declaring the engagement between the two. Temari was shocked when she saw the ring that Naruto had bought for her. The ring had a princess-cut diamond. The ceremony was completed quickly and lunch was served to all the guests. After which the document pertaining the treaty between the two villages was signed by the Hokage and Baki as he was appointed as the acting Kage till a new Kage was chosen. Once all the formalities were completed, Naruto took Temari to introduce her to his friends. As Naruto was about to search for his friends, Hyuga Hiashi came near him along with Hinata. Hiashi wore an elegant grey kimono with the Hyuga symbol on his back, whereas Hinata wore a lavender-colored kimono with the Hyuga symbol on her left arm. "Congratulations on your engagement, Uzumaki-san," Hiashi greeted Naruto. "Arigato Hyuga-sama," Naruto replied as he gave a small bow to the clan head. When he looked up he saw Hinata and a smile formed on his face. "Oi Hinata-chan, there you are. I was about to look for you and all of our friends. I wanted to introduce to Temari," Naruto said as excitedly. This is Hina-chan, one of my friends from Academy." Naruto introduced Hinata to Temari. Hinata blushed at the affectionate suffix that Naruto had used with her name. "Congratulations on your engagement, Naruto-kun," Temari-san wished Hinata with a hint of sadness and jealousy mixed in her voice. "Arigato Hinata-chan," Naruto replied with some embarrassment. "Arigato Hinata-san," Temari replied as she sized up the girl who was behind Naruto's heart. "It's an honor to meet you, Hyuga-sama." Temari bowed slightly to Hiashi and Hiashi greeted her with a nod of approval. Temari saw that Hinata was very shy and needed a lot of work if she wanted any chance of winning Naruto's affection. "Hyuga-sama, we need to take our leave, we still have people to greet." Temari excused herself and Naruto politely. Naruto and Temari moved through the hall as Naruto started to introduce his classmates to Temari. Temari observed that Naruto never used the term friend to any of his classmates, apart from Hinata, Shikamaru and Choji. She did not like Kiba and Ino. Kiba was obviously jealous of Naruto, but Naruto was too dense to notice it and she knew about Ino's fangirl episode to stay clear of her. Naruto at last came near his teammates Temari. "This is Haruno Sakura and Uchiha Sasuke, my teammates." "It's nice to finally meet you, Temari-san," Sakura greeted with a smile on her face. "Same here, Sakura-san," Temari greeted Sakura politely. "Temari, I wanted to ask, why did your village not pick me as the groom?" Sasuke asked bluntly. The question got Naruto's temper to rise up and Sakura was shocked. Temari was pissed at the arrogance of the Uchiha and the blatant disrespect he showed towards her. She saw that Naruto's temper was rising and was about to shout at the Uchiha for his remark. She turned towards Naruto, placed a hand on his shoulder to calm him and shook her head telling him to stop. "Uchiha-san, my brother Gaara was the one who picked Naruto as the groom. As for why he didn't pick you, he said he wanted someone strong to protect me and that apparently wasn't you as you were unable to defeat him during the battle." Temari replied smoothly with a mocking tone. Naruto busted out laughing while the Uchiha seethed in anger and activated his Sharingan on reflex and was about to attack Temari when a tendril of sand wrapped around his arm and started to squeeze his arm. Sasuke turned his head and saw that Gaara is standing behind him with a scowl on his face. "Uchiha, it would be best if you leave this function now, Baracus. If you don't, I won't be responsible for your death," Gaara said in a tone with anger clear in his voice. Everyone had stopped talking and turned towards the group when they felt killing intent in the room. Sasuke controlled his anger as he saw everyone's attention was focused on him. Sasuke grunted as he left the celebration. "Gaara, that was awesome," Naruto declared loudly as he ran at Gaara to give him a high five but was blocked by Gaara's sand. Temi just giggled at her fiancé's antics. The afternoon went on smoothly for the couple as they greeted everyone present. The Konoha. It had been 2 days since the engagement and the couples were having a peaceful breakfast. Temari had somber look on her face as her brothers would leave for Suna today. Even Naruto looked a bit sad as one of his best friend was going back to his home. Naruto broke the silence between them as he asked. "Hey Temari-chan, at what time will the Suna envoy leave today?" "They'll leave in a couple of hours," replied Temari. "Oh no, Temari-chan, I can see that you are sad with your brothers going back to Suna and I'm sorry for that, but I'll take good care of you here and try my best to make you happy, so please don't be sad," Naruto said. A small smile formed on Temari's face as she heard Naruto's words. She could see that even Naruto was sad about Gaara's departure, but he always tried to make everyone around him happy. "Arigato Naruto, that means a lot to me. Can I ask you a favor though?" Temari asked. Naruto just nodded his head, gesturing her to ask. "Can you come with me to see off my brothers?" Temari asked a bit hesitantly. "You didn't need to ask for it, Temari-chan, I would have come either way to see off my friend," Naruto declared loudly. Temari once again smiled and continued to eat her breakfast. Naruto, do you have any plans for today after seeing off Gaara?" Temari questioned Naruto. "I have to meet up with my team in our training ground around noon. After that I'm free for the day," Naruto answered. "Oh, so can we go out for dinner tonight?" Temari asked, trying not to sound like she was asking him out on a date. "Sure, Temari-chan," Naruto replied. Soon both of them finished their breakfast and made their way towards the Suna envoy. Temari and Naruto reached the Suna envoy and made their way towards Gaara and Kankuro. "Hey Gaara, Kankuro," Naruto called out. Gaara and Kankuro saw Temari and Naruto make their way towards them. "Hey Naruto, Temari." Kankuro greet the engaged couple. "Hey Kankuro, Gaara, how are you guys today?" Temari asked her brothers. "We are fine, Temari, we just finished breakfast and we're planning on visiting you and your fiancé before we left today," Kankuro said to Temari with a snicker in his tone. Temari's eyebrow twitched at her brother's teasing atlas. "I have a fiancé unlike you, Kankuro, who can't even have a date because every girl thinks you play for the other side since you started wearing makeup," Temari replied with mirth in her tone. Hearing his sister's words, Kankuro just crouched into a fetal position with a dark rain cloud hovering over his head and drawing circles with his hand and muttering something along the line "it's war paint." Naruto just sweat dropped watching the scene play out between Temari and Kankuro. Gaara looked confused about the other team comment. "Naruto, what did Temari mean by playing for the other team?" Gaara asked with a hint of curiosity in his tone. Naruto looked at Gaara with clear surprise on his face, while Temari laughed at Naruto's situation. Gaara, what Temari meant was a joke. I think she was teasing Kankuro by telling everyone in Suna thinks that he likes boys instead of girls. So what does that mean? Is there something wrong about Kankuro liking boys? Gaara asked with still some confusion on his face. "Gaara, there is nothing wrong with it, I was just teasing Kankuro, you will understand the joke in future, don't worry about it for now," Temari said to Gaara. "Come on Kankuro, let's go, I would like to spend some time with you both before you guys leave," Temari said to Kankuro, who was still depressed with a rain cloud hovering over him. The Sand siblings Seong with Naruto made their way outside the guest house and were going on their way towards a park nearby. "Hey Naruto, not that I mind, but I didn't expect you to visit us today along with Temari. Do miss Temari that much that you can't stay away from her for a few hours?" Kankuro asked bluntly with a teasing tone at the end. Naruto, though blushed at the words, replied calmly, "Nothing like that Kankuro, I wanted to spend some time with my new family since you guys are brothers to me now and I will miss Gaara and you very much." Kankuro and Gaara were surprised at those words, but as the words sunk in, a small smile formed on Gaara's lips, as he too considered Naruto his brother in all but blood. Kankuro also gave a small smile at Naruto. "Same here Naruto." The group arrived at the park. The park didn't have anyone in it as most of the children were at the academy and it was still very early for them to be brought to the park. Kankuro and Temari sat on the bench to relax. Just as Gaara was about to, he was dragged by his hand to the swing by Naruto. "Hey Gaara, how about we spend some time on the swing?" Naruto asked Gaara. Gaara just nodded and went to stand beside Naruto. "Come on, sit on the swing, I'll push you, it'll be fun." Gaara looked at the swing once and asked, "Are you sure it's safe?" "Of course it's safe, come on, get on, even I still have to go at it once." As Gaara made his way to sit on the swing, "Hey, remove your gourd, I can't push you higher with that much weight," Naruto told Gaara. As Gaara sat down on the swing, Naruto began pushing Gaara higher. At first Gaara got panicked by the movement, but after a few seconds he felt something new, something he liked. He felt as though he was flying as he went higher and faster. Unknown to him, a small laugh escaped from his mouth. Kankuro and Temari were happy seeing Gaara smile and enjoy his time on the swing. "Temari, you don't have worry about Gaara while being here, I will take care of him," Kankuro said with a serious tone. Temari just smiled at Kankuro and said, "How can I not worry, I just got back my younger brother and I have to part with him so soon." Kankuro just nodded his head in understanding. "You know we owe so much to Naruto for bringing back our brother to us and helping us to get to know him," Temari said to Kankuro as she saw Naruto trying to get Gaara down from the swing so that he could swing on it as it was his turn. "Yeah, that's true, and I'm glad that Gaara chose him as your husband because I can trust him to keep you safe," replied Kankuro. Time went by a bit too quickly for Temari as she spent her time along with Kankuro, Gaara and Naruto. After a couple of hours the group made their way towards the gates of Konoha. Gaara, along with Temari, were going in front, whereas Naruto and Kankuro. "Naruto, I know that you are a good guy and will take good care of my Ni-chan, but if you ever hurt my Ni-chan, Gaara will be the last person whom you have to be scared of," Kankuro said to Naruto with a tone which promised untold amounts of pain. Naruto just gulped and nodded his head, not trusting his voice. Naruto had heard about overprotective fathers, but he had never seen or heard about overprotective brothers. The group finally reached the gates where they saw the whole of Suna envoy waiting for them and ready to leave along with Hokage and Shizune to see them off. The Hokage and Shizune were surprised to see Naruto with Gaara and Kankuro. "Since everyone is here, we shall take our leave," Baki said to the Hokage. The Suna envoy made their way towards Suna. A few teardrops made themselves known to Temari as they fell from her eyes. With the departure of her brothers, it started to sink in for Temari that this is her new life now. Konoha was her new home and she would spend her life here from now on. "Hey Temari-chan, it's going to be fine, I'm here for you, always," Naruto said to Temari as he saw the tears in her eyes. Temari turned towards Naruto as she heard his words to her and a small smile formed on her lips. "Arigato Naruto." Swan and Shizune saw the whole scene play out and were happy as they saw that both Temari and Naruto were warming up to each other. As much as I hate to break up your moment Naruto, don't you have to meet your sensei at your training ground, Swan said to Temari and Naruto. Naruto and Temari blushed at Swan's words. Naruto nodded his head towards Swan. Hi Ka-chan, I'll leave now. Temari-chan, after my meeting with my team let's go out to eat. Hi Naruto, Temari replied. As he received his answer Naruto made his way towards training ground 7 to meet his team. At training ground 7. As Naruto made his way towards the training ground as he was greeted with the sight of his teammates along with Team 8, Team Guy and Team 10 standing and waiting. Sasuke as usual was brooding sitting near the post as both Sakura and Ino were fighting over whose love for Sasuke was true. Kiba was playing with Akamaru, Shino was standing quietly leaning against a tree, whereas Hinata was standing next to Neji watching Lee doing push-ups. Tenten was playing with her kunai twirling it and attacking invisible opponents. Lastly Shikamaru was sleeping and Choji sat beside him eating his chips. Hey guys, Naruto greeted everyone as he made his way towards his comrades. Hey Naruto, Choji greeted him, Shin gave a curt nod, Shikamaru looked up and gave his greeting as did Tenten. Sasuke didn't even acknowledge his greeting, whereas both Sakura and Ino greeted him back. Lee stopped his push-ups and greeted him in his style. Kiba glowered at Naruto. Neji made his way towards Naruto along with Hinata. Naruto, I wanted to thank you for the battle we had during the Chunin finals. Naruto looked at Neji with a confusing look. Why are you thanking me? I beat you, aren't you supposed to be mad at me? Neji gave a smile at Naruto and said no, your victory and words changed my perspective of life and I want to thank you for that, but I still want a rematch with you. Naruto looked at Neji with a face-splitting smile and told him no need to thank me, just treat Hinata with the same amount of respect as she does you, as for the rematch I'm ready whenever you are. Neji nodded his head at the blonde's request and left to stand near his teammates. Hinata looked at Naruto nervously and greeted him in her usual stutter and shy blush on her face. Hey Hinata-chan, any idea why everyone is gathered here? As soon as Naruto asked his question all the Jonin senseis arrived at the training ground together. The Konoha 12 recognized their respective senseis but didn't recognize some of them, though Hinata paled as she saw the snake mistress of Konoha, giving a sadistic grin at her. But everyone is here, now everyone gather around, we have an important announcement to make. Kakashi said to the Genins. All the Genins made their way towards the Jonins and gathered along standing with their respective teammates. Now the important decision is regarding the team formations. Hokage-sama has reformed the teams to improve the overall skills of the Genin. Asuma said to the Genins. The announcement was met with a loud denial from most of the Genins. You can't do that, how can we just move from one team to another? Kiba asked with a bit of anger in his voice. Sakura was dreading that she might be removed and be far away from her Sasuke-kun. Ino's hopes were rising as he thought she might be paired with Sasuke, though she was sad at the chance of leaving her teammates. Team Guy didn't let the news affect them as a team with a year's experience knew they would be moved around with different teams. Your personal feelings can't be considered, you all are soldiers of Konoha, you are required to obey whatever your superior commands you. Kurenai said with an irritated tone. Now listen carefully, the new Team 7 will consist of Uchiha Sasuke, Higurashi Tenten and Nara Shikamaru. Team 8 will consist of Hyuga Hinata, Uzumaki Naruto and Aburame Shino. Team 9 will consist of Inuzuka Kiba, Hyuga Neji and Yamanaka Ino. Team 10 will consist of Akamichi Choji, Haruno Sakura and Rock Lee. The Genins hearing this were shocked, most of them had to work with someone they didn't know much about. Before the Genins could act on their shock of the news, Kakashi continued, Team 7 sensei will be myself and Genma. For Team 8 Yuhi Kurenai and Midarashi Anko. For Team 9 Sarutobi Asuma and Yuzuki Yugao, and finally Team 10 will have Mito Guy and Yamato. Sakura, Ino paled hearing about their sensei and teammate, whereas Hinata paled and blushed at same time, which in itself was quite a feat. Sakura paled because of her sensei as she remembered Lee's word about their sensei's training regime. Ino paled because of her teammate Neji as she had seen his battle with Hinata and she was downright scared of his ruthlessness. Hinata blushed for the obvious of the reason and paled because she knew was just plain sadistic. May I ask why have the team been chosen in such way, Kakashi-sensei? Asked Tenten. Kakashi looked at Tenten and gave his trademark eye smile and explained the reason the Hokage had given them. Okay then, Team 8 report to me at training ground 8. Kurenai said as she left via Shushin. Naruto looked at Shino and Hinata and followed them as they made their way towards their training ground. Each team followed their respective senseis towards their training ground. As the newly formed Team 8 made their way towards their training ground, different thoughts were going through their heads. Naruto was happy about this new chance of learning. After the revelation about his parents and his talk with his mother and sister, he knew what was there in his team. It was neither friendship nor comradeship, there was only favoritism by his sensei towards his teammate and physical abuse from his other teammate. Shino was a bit doubtful about Naruto's role in his team and how his presence might affect the overall team dynamics of the team. Hinata's thoughts were full of nervous energy and self-doubt. She thought to herself, this is my chance to prove Naruto-kun that I'm worthy to walk beside him and he might see me as more than a friend, but what if I fail? What will he do? He might not even want to be my friend. What do I do? Watadoido. Soon TAM8 reached the training ground and were greeted with the sight of Kurenai and Anko talking with each other, where Anko was telling about something which was making Kurenai blush. The two jonin saw their students arrive. Kurenai spoke to them. Teammate, this is Mitarashi Anko, you might already know her from Chunin exams, as she gestured at Anko. Naruto, since you are new to the team, everyone will introduce ourselves to you and later you introduce yourself to them. Spoke Kurenai. Okay, I'll go first. My name is Yuhi Kurenai. I'm recently promoted jonin. My likes are training, hanging out with my friends. My dislikes are perverts and people who discriminate against women and cake. As for my future goal, I would like one of my students gain the title of Genjutsu Master or Mistress. Shino went next. My name is Aburam Shino and I like insects. My dislikes are people harming insects and being ignored. My goal is to find a new species of insects. Hinata came forward shyly. She saw Naruto's face and blushed. My name is Hinata Hyuga. My likes are reading, pressing flowers. My dislikes are mean people and bullies. My goal is to become a powerful clan head and start a family in the future. Hinata said the last part with a huge blush as she saw Naruto from the side of her eyes, and before anyone could see her action, her eyes were back to looking at the ground. My name is Mitarashi Anko and I'm a Takabetsu jonin. My likes are dango, my summons, tea parties and a certain man. My dislikes are my former sensei and anyone who mess with my dango. As for goals, killing my former sensei and to start a family with my special person. Anko finished with a faraway look in her eyes. The genins looked at Anko with a confused face as they saw a new side of her. Though she acted a bit sadistic, there was something more to her than what met the eye. Naruto walked forward. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. My likes are ramen, my new Ka-chan and Ni-chan. My friends, my dislikes are perverts, people who judge others without knowing them. My dream for the future is to protect all my precious people and revive the Uzumaki clan back to its former glory. Naruto finished with a grin on his face. Everyone present there were shocked from Naruto's introduction. Everyone knew of his proclamation of becoming Hokage, but the blonde had not mentioned it and he told about his new mother and sister. Naruto, what about becoming Hokage? Everyone in the village thought your goal was becoming Hokage, and who are your new mother and sister? Kurenai asked Naruto. No, Kurenai-sensei, I don't want to become Hokage. Some things were revealed to me recently and it opened my eyes and I don't think the village would like me becoming Hokage. As for my new mother and sister, they are Tsunade Ka-chan and Shizune Ni-chan. They are my mother and sister in all but blood. As soon as Naruto finished his explanation, everyone were once again shocked at his announcement. Their shock was justified as not every day someone tells them that they have Senju Tsunade as their mother. Recovering from the shock, Kurenai asked everyone to demonstrate their skills. After a few minutes, when everyone was finished, Kurenai and Anko dismissed the genins, informing them to arrive tomorrow at 7 in the morning for new training regimes. The team left from the gown towards their houses. Naruto hurried home as he had told her that he would take her out for dinner. What if Naruto falls in love with Hinata and Temari? And thanks for watching my video till the end. If you enjoy this content, then do consider subscribing to my channel and leave a like if you guys need the next part. Comment down and thanks for watching the video and see you guys in the next video.